memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now, Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000 MSRP. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. 2024 Nissan Altima, Kicks, Leaf, Rogue, Sentra, and Versa. All prices are manufacturer's suggested retail price. Manufacturer's suggested retail price excludes destination and handling charges, tax, title, license, and options. Dealer sets actual prices.
Life is full of bright moments, but sometimes those moments can seem too far away. Trained and caring crisis specialists in Arizona can assist you with any situation, big or small. Free and confidential help is only one text away, day or night. Text the word HOPE to 4HOPE. That's HOPE to 44673. These moments matter, and so do you. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Tuesday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He'll be back tomorrow, and I don't know, Ralph said he might be here today. I guess he's not going to be here today, unless he's here later today. I don't know what's going on. I try not to get involved. Anyway, Keon Rose is in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Oh my God, it's October 1st. Don't forget to pay your rent. Today's the day. Make sure you get that into the slot preferably in somebody's hand, because you put it in the slot, they'll say, well, you were late because it wasn't in during business hour. And then all of a sudden you're just paying late fees anyways because they're bastards. And you know I'm right. You know I'm right.
You are 100% correct. Maybe I've experienced this. Who could say?
I think we all have at one point or another. But bastards, I tell you. Anyway, so don't forget that. Let me take a look here. I got all kinds of stuff that we need to talk about. I tell you, people thought that maybe I walked off into the ocean after the weekend I had. You're like, wait, what? The Colts won. No, they didn't. No.
Some they had one of those wins that feels like a loss.
Can I just say, I mean, I know you guys went over all the games yesterday, but let me just say, as a Colts fan, I don't think I'm going to be talking about being a Colts fan for a while.
That's a shame.
Just not
bring it up.
Because the Anthony Richardson experiment is over. I am declaring he is a bust. I'm declaring it. I know you're going to argue with me. You're going to tell me I can't do that in this short time, but I'm going to tell you why. He got injured every couple of games last season. And then we thought, over the offseason when he had that serious injury, well, he'll learn and he'll come back bigger and better than ever. And for like a minute, it looked like maybe. And then if he plays the way he should, he won't develop as an actual quarterback because he doesn't want to. He doesn't make good decisions because all he can think about is running. That's all he can seem to think about. And when he does run, he doesn't know how to slide.
Yeah. And learning how to slide.
I'm just done with him.
And I understand that feeling. And I'm not going to say you can't declare somebody a bust. I'm just going to say that when you look at some of these guys, and me and Ralph talked about this a lot yesterday, maybe you just shouldn't play them until they're actually ready. Maybe you can't do the on the field training. And there's a whole lot of pressure for these teams to play players, because when you do that, hopefully they hit the ground running, or maybe they learn on the job. And now you're taking advantage of that rookie deal that they're on and you can put the talent around them. But the fact is, Anthony Richardson just looks scared out there when I see him.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
He might figure it out, because look at all the guys that we're seeing pop up in second places where they finally put together, but they're on a second contract with a different team entirely, where Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold.
Hey, thank you for wasting my time.
Yeah, and I just think that
you've lived it.
I have lived it, but I'm looking at the Patriots and I'm going, you guys look smarter and smarter every day, saying we're not putting Drake May out there. He's not ready.
Well, I wish Ryan Grigson had been smarter about Andrew Luck. We'd still have him today.
Well,
probably.
that's true. Yeah.
Sons of bitches. So no, I'm sorry. I just don't think Anthony Richardson is ever going to get it. I just don't.
And if he does, it may not be Indianapolis. It's not a want to thing. When you've got large 300-pound people coming at you, sometimes you just fall back into the thing you're good at.
Here's the thing: when the O-line would hold up, he was indecisive. He was like, he made bad decisions, and I think that got into his head too. So now his instinct is always I'm going to run.
Yeah.
I'm going to run.
But I don't want to say he doesn't want to. It's just that if you're trying to do the best you can, the part that's hard for you, you're probably going to shy away from that and go to the stuff that's a little bit easier, which unfortunately for him is running in a league where that's probably not the best idea to do all the time.
Well, that's as much as you're going to hear me talk about the Colts now. That's it.
That's a shame.
I got nothing else to talk about with the Colts, because I'm just going to keep it to myself. I'll be honest when I do my picks, as I always am. But I'm done here. I think at the end of the season, if not sooner, GM Chris Ballard will be fired, because he didn't put the kinds of pieces around Anthony Richardson that he would have needed to maybe figure it out as a regular quarterback, as somebody who throws the ball. He didn't put the pieces in there that really would have made the difference. He went with the Kirkland brand. You know what I'm saying? He just
which works.
Went to Costco and got some guys, but it wasn't quality. So my team, almost a good idea, but it's not. So that's it. I'm just done. Not gonna even commiserate. Not going to evaluate. Not going to anything. I'm done talking about my Colts. Fish Tank says the Dolphins season is over. We've tried 3 different backup quarterbacks, and somehow the one we watched last night is the best one by far, who managed to scrape up a whole 12 points against a terrible Titans team. So
to be
it's
fair,
time to tank. At least my fish tank is back in literal and full force.
I mean, it is time to tank, but to be fair to Tyler Huntley, he had the playbook for a week. He was on the Ravens practice squad before the Dolphins picked up the phone and called for him. So you're dealing with a streamlined, limited version of that offense. You're not dealing with the full thing. And the result is what we saw, which is just a lot of struggling for an offense that's normally very complicated to run.
Fish Tank, by the way, why on the pick contest thing do you have 2 Ks on your name, Fish Tank? Is that on purpose? Because that's weird. Because here, you're just Fish Tank. Hall of Fame texter on the Daily Blender. But on the Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em, your Fish Tank. It's like, are you stuttering, or is there a reason for that? I don't know. Fifth letter says Raiders effing up again. Bye, Devontae. Well, I guess I accidentally turned this into a bitch fest for all the losing teams. Not my intention, but okay. Well, we can do this. I can do this.
It happens.
Devontae Adams wants a trade. The Raiders are like, okay, fine. They're actually like, they're not fighting it. So
why? They're rebuilding.
They clearly are. And, so I guess we'll see what happens with that. Chosen One says, afternoon, gentlemen. 2 breaking news items. Von Miller got suspended 4 games. Yes, I saw that. And that all is because of the 2023 allegations of him roughing up his girlfriend. So whatever the NFL saw, they thought, well, that's worth a 4-game suspension for Von Miller. Just these things shouldn't take almost an entire year to sort out. So I don't know. They sealed everything. Remember, we had really no good, clear idea of what the heck had just happened. Later on, we find out that this Miller was to have put a hand and later both hands on the woman's neck for about 3 to 5 seconds, pulling her hair and trying to shove her while she was trying to gather her things and leave. That is actually the most information I've seen about this. So, okay, well, Way to go, NFL.
Yeah, well, at the very least, because he was playing really, really well this season, the NFL doesn't have to do the thing where they have to pretend like they didn't market him, because if they'd gotten to that point in the year, that could have been a very bad look.
Dodger Danny, boy, I haven't heard from him in a million years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He says, Jeffrey, Randy, fellows, great hearing your voice. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I don't think he's actually listening now. Randy's not here today.
Randy's not here. Yeah.
CK says, after week 2, I said all those things and more about Anthony Richardson, and you completely disagreed with me. No, I didn't. I just said, let's just wait and see.
I might have, but I don't think Jeffrey did. And even then, I all of those things were true, but I'm saying you got to give the guy a chance and see what you have. It's potentially possible you've already seen it.
He says, oh, what 2 weeks can do. Free Pittman and Quentin Nelson. Free nothing. Why don't you kiss my ass? Dodger Danny says he is actually listening. I only heard your voice and assumed Randy is on. Fish Tank says, yeah, it wouldn't take Fish Tank with 1K. And instead of just throwing a random number in there, I was like, I'll go double K. You know what? You probably were in there from years ago. I didn't realize this. When I went to pool host for the, Harmon Solar NFL, picks contest thing, I just went over there. I didn't realize that we had actually used that back in 2017 for some other picks thing that the entire station was doing. So it's like, whoa, what the hell? I have a login. So you probably had a login from back those days. So now we're all trying to figure that out. So sorry. Seabass says, breaker there, Blender crew. Jeffrey, sorry your Colts drafting Anthony Richardson. My team drafted Bryce Young, so we're not doing much better. Also, I-40 is closed for a year in Western North Carolina. Tough for us truckers. Over. Huh. When did that happen? Because I'm actually going there tomorrow. I don't know if that's something I'm going to need to deal with.
Whenever the hurricane did whatever the hurricane did, I don't know exactly what day it hit that area.
Will it keep me from going from the airport to my mom's house? That's the question. Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Taco Tuesday. Yes, it is. It really, really is. And I'll tell you more about that later. He says, Diamondbacks missed out on the playoffs by one lousy game. And this is why I make a big deal out of every loss. Well, see, you know what? Being somebody who follows the scoreboard and the standings, a lot of us do that. But you do it. No, you're different. You're different when you do it, George. He says that blown game in May can cost you a playoff spot. Well, you can't have that mindset. He says Lavello sticking with Sewald as a closer for too long cost us the playoffs. Sticking with Jordan Montgomery too long cost us the playoffs. 2 years in a row of a September collapse. Well, here's the thing about Jordan Montgomery. The owner of the Diamondbacks, King Kendricks, came out and he's like, yeah, that's on me. I was really shocked that he would actually say that, right? So then I looked a little deeper. He said it, and he kind of didn't say it. Let me read you the actual quote of what he said. He says, if anyone wants to blame anyone for Jordan Montgomery being a Diamondback, you're talking to the guy who should be blamed right here. So I'm like, wow, that's refreshing. Because I brought it to the office's attention. I pushed for it. They agreed to it. It wasn't in our game plan. Okay, so now you said they agreed to it. So you're like, it's on me. But these idiots, they should have known better. So blame me. But these guys said it was cool.
You're their boss. If you really want a guy, what are they going to do? They can try their best to say, I don't know that that's a great idea. You push hard enough, boss gets what the boss wants.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had jobs. I know this works.
It's my fault, but it's really not my fault. It's really not my fault. You should have stopped. He should have just stopped with, I pushed for it. That's it. Don't say another thing. Not, they agreed to it. It says, and looking back in hindsight, a horrible decision to invest that money in a guy who performed as poorly as he did. It's our biggest mistake this season from talent standpoint, and I'm the perpetrator of that. So, he left himself a little out there going, well, they agreed. But one of the other things is, how are we going to sign free agents if you do this? If you talk about a guy you brought in, you wanted him enough, you paid him $25 million for 1 year. He went ahead and fired his agent because he was like, Where's my multi-year deal? You're fired. And well, now he's out on the street after this for sure.
Well, maybe he's got a player option.
Well, he can't make them keep him around, can he? What's the option?
He can. That's the option.
What's the money on the option?
He can choose to leave or stay.
I think I'd leave.
Well, it depends because I don't know the way he played this past season. I don't know that he's going to see a contract that looks
I think
like
I'd stay.
Yeah. It's like he can say whatever he wants about me. Mr. Kendrick, say what you'd like. You still have to cut that check.
How much money? I mean, he got $25 million. Is a 1-year deal.
I think the second option is another 25 million. Hold on, let me go ahead and double check that really quickly.
That's horrible. Well, so anyway, Montgomery, at least everybody knows what a bleep show that was. So then I started looking around. I'm just like, what the hell happened to the Diamondbacks? 89 wins, and they're not in the playoffs. And I get it. It was a combination of other people not doing and then somebody else doing and all that good stuff. But so what's the deal on him?
Yeah.
Another 25?
22.5 million. So I'd still take
that. Dude won the lottery. Yeah, he's coming
I'd still take
He's showing up.
Yeah. And it's a contract year for him, so he's going to still try.
Well, I mean, will they even play him?
I mean, to the extent that they play him. If they don't play him, then that's $22.5 million you don't have to work that hard for. If they do play him, he might be able to play well enough to get paid somewhere else. Then
I still stand by that. Ken Kendrick going out there and saying, being that critical of a player like that. Does that make you want to go play for that team where they're going to talk crap about you?
It doesn't. And if I'm a guy that's going to make $25 million, $30 million, okay, fine. I'll go play for the Diamondbacks.
I'll go make it someplace else.
Yeah. But if I'm a player that's going to make $5 million, $6 million, and I'm going to get that everywhere else, I'm probably not coming here. It's the mid-level guys that you need to fill out a roster that I'm concerned that he's alienating by doing that.
Yeah, you made it harder for the team to attract free agents is what you did right there. Chief Skull says, I listened to the interview with Kendrick. He was defensive and also said again that this year's revenue, when they determine, will dictate what they spend next year. That sets them up for an out if they don't do anything. Oh, yeah. Great. That's fantastic.
And it does seem like he's doing a little bit of the, I spent money and it still didn't work thing, which
means nothing to the fans.
Because you keep paying your manager to be very okay. He's just an average manager, Torey Lovello.
Walter Mellon says, if we would have fired somebody every time George said to, the Diamondbacks would have been disqualified for not having enough people to play ball or even manage. They still wouldn't have made the playoffs. It's true. George shouldn't be in charge of anything.
That's the thing is that George, if they benched every guy George wanted benched, cut every guy George wanted cut, fired every guy that George wanted fired, there would be no people left in the building except the owner of the team who George would be telling to sell the team. That doesn't exist.
Have you read much about why everybody else thinks the Diamondbacks are in the situation they're in? Almost every place I've looked, there's a theme that is rolling through at least sports writers. And I don't know if you agree with this. One, the pitchers injured. Too many injuries all the time, pitchers. Well, Randy used to say that, so I'll give that.
And that was a fact, yeah.
But they also said that this team was a better team than the World Series team was.
I agree with that too.
More baffling. The bats went cold when they needed to be hot, and pitching wasn't there when you needed it to be there. Other times it was crazy good. So it was almost a good idea. Do we believe that health will get us a World Series next year? You know what I'm saying?
Health will give you a better chance because look how many games you didn't have Merrill Kelly. Look how many games you didn't have Zach Gallen. Those are the two best pitchers on your team, and you did not have them. And this is the reason why I push back on what George said a little bit, which is, those blown saves early. Any one of those games you win them, you're probably in the playoffs. But if you had Merrill Kelly for any one game, you had to run out there and pitch somebody who wasn't any good, you would have been in the playoffs for that too. Any game that you had Zach Gallen, you didn't have him. Like that stuff matters as well. You can't just single out one bad decision or one bad performance or even a group of them when there are multiple reasons that a team fails to make the playoffs. And this one was a very beat up team.
Robert from Surprise says pitchers are getting injured more often because of the pitch clock. They're getting out of their natural motion and hurry to the plate. I don't know if we can really attribute the injuries to Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Montgomery, and Trey Jamison to pitch clock. It would be interesting to go back and look at that.
I don't know if we can either, but at the same time, I do think he has a point in that, like, you look at pitcher injuries across the board, they're all up across the league. It's not just the Diamondbacks. I mean, you look at the Dodgers and how they struggled through various injuries, or the Mets had injuries throughout the year pitching. So did the Braves. So, I mean, like they're like, it's not just the Diamondbacks, but obviously because the Diamondbacks aren't loaded with cash and they're not throwing hundreds of millions of dollars around, your margins are a little thinner on the kinds of injuries you can take and still be good.
Moist One says, did technically win 5 more games in regular season than they did last year. Hooray. We didn't make the playoffs. So what good are those 5 games? Big George says, comes down to the manager. Yes, fire Torey Lavillo. Gotcha. Dodger Danny says, George should be in charge of something. This day in history and stuff. That makes sense. Oaktown Destroyer says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Finally got my first NFL fantasy football win this damn league. Go Raiders. Goodbye, Devontae. Yeah, it seems like all the Raider fans are like, don't care about Devontae Adams right now.
It's because when you show up, there's you wanted to play with Derek Carr, your guy. You played together in college, and then Carr gets traded. It just seemed like Devontae Adams wasn't bought into what the Raiders are about, and that fan base appreciates a guy that just shows up all the time to work, no complaining, never gripes. Devontae Adams has a little complaining in him. There's a little diva in Devontae Adams, a little.
Yep. Yeah, but
not the most, but
what he gives you might be worth it. Might be worth it. Baker's Cocky Hen says, did you guys see the post about Rashee Rice? At least he went out doing what he loved, ending a drive with a horrible collision and leaving the scene of an accident.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so mean.
It's so true, though, really, if you think about it.
It's not incorrect. But man, I just didn't see that coming.
All right, we got a lot more texts on the text line waiting to be read, and we can do that when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NFL Week 5, the Arizona Cardinals will take on the San Francisco 49ers at Levi Stadium on Sunday. The Cardinals sitting at 1-3 after their Week 4 loss to the Washington Commanders, while the Niners are 2-2. The 49ers opening up as a 7.5-point home favorite, minus 105 against the spread, while the Cardinals minus 115 getting the 7.5. On the money line, Arizona is at plus 280. The 49ers at minus 350, with the over-under total at 49.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It's fall football on The Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
It's fall football season, and Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is doubling down, now with 2 Valley locations. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy Hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on their Asian-inspired comfort food like Korean steak tacos, Mongolian barbecue ribs, and signature Wagyu beef sliders. Always a memorable dinner, or catch the game in a bite at the bar at Kasai. Now with 2 locations, Scottsdale Road in Thunderbird, and in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppan.com. That's KASAI Teppan.com, or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Big Jake says, whoever's saying Torey Lovullo should be fired is silly. Best 2 years of Diamondbacks baseball since the World Series win. Yeah. I mean, I can see that, but what if we had a better manager with the talent that we have? There were some, and over the years, Jake, there's been many sort of iffy decisions. You know what I'm saying? I'm being extremely nice.
Yeah. Even this year, there were iffy decisions, multiple. But when it comes to managers and coaches, very often when fans want a new one, I can't think of anybody who would be better. In this particular instance, you could probably do better than Torey Lovullo and not even have to pay that much to do better than Torey Lovullo. It's the best run of Diamondbacks baseball in a while because I think of the general manager, Mike Hazen. I think he's gotten a lot of talent for, the discount prices that he has to kind of work inside of. I think he's gotten a lot of talent on this roster, and the farm team is really, really damn deep. So you look at the manager and go, if we had a better guy, couldn't you go further? Couldn't you win those 1 or 2 games that are going to decide whether or not you make a postseason run?
Yep. Fish Tank says, isn't Gallen a free agent, or did I hear that wrong? If so, not a great time to be torching pitchers just because they don't pitch great. Gallen might say, if money's even, I'm going to go somewhere where I won't get crapped on by the owner. That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Swazman says, Jeffrey, the pitch clock is only helping baseball. The issue is that these guys are doing like Tiger Woods did in the past, bulking up, throwing as hard as they can instead of finesse pitching like Greg Maddux. Ringless Joe says, let's go Tigers. Betting for a sweep. You know what? I don't want to hear that right now. I don't want to hear you, let's go anybody. Give me a couple of minutes with the Diamondbacks being out of it. Just give me a couple minutes.
Fish Tank is correct, by the way. Zach Gallen, this is his last year of his deal with the Diamondbacks, and they're going to have the chance to go to arbitration with him. They avoided it last year. They'll have the chance to go to arbitration with him before 2025.
Way to go, Ken. Way to go, Ken. That's great. Way to go, Ken.
So, it depends on what kind of person Zach Gallen is. Zach Gallen might also be the person that goes, he wasn't talking about me, and just continue right along with his life. We have no clue.
Yeah. No, but that's not helping, Ken. It's not helping.
I've never heard an owner of a team do that. I've heard a general manager say, okay, I shouldn't have made that move. Here's what I thought, but it just didn't work out. I don't think I've ever heard the owner say, yeah, no, that's me.
Or even it's a horrible, to speak of the performance of a pitcher who you might still be stuck with. Way to go, Ken.
Yeah, he might still be in that locker room. And now you're making the locker room a little bit more toxic.
How are you going to trade him, Ken? You're not.
Not without him playing. He's going to need to go out there and play to get his value back up so you could trade him for something if you want to trade him.
Good job, Ken. Robert from Surprise says Zach Allen will look good in blue, and it's only a 5-hour drive. Oh, keep it to yourself. Yeah,
I don't even think you could afford. I don't even think you have the roster space to have Zach Gallen on your team. You man, go away. Leave us alone. Nobody looks good in that blue. It's weird looking.
Diamondbacks pitching decisions are just moronic. I knew they were dead when they changed pitchers against the Padres 0-0 top of the ninth with one out, only for the next guy to allow 2 home runs immediately.
That alone, that is enough baseball malpractice. That might get you fired in at least 5 cities in this country.
Berg says, I may be out of Arizona, but grateful to have a bye week in fantasy this week. There's no bye weeks in fantasy. Oh, wait. Are you playing Berg this week?
I am playing Berg this week. Oh, man. Berg, you're about to be the first person to ever lose to a bye week.
How do you get fired on your day off, Berg?
Because I've seen Berg struggling in this league. And look, I'm not having a great season in fantasy football either.
Yeah, Berg, you just
I just didn't think he's going to come out and talk to me about it, but given what his struggles have been. But let's go, Berg. Let's go, man.
See, I have no beef with Berg, but I would probably reply, well, instead of Evil Berg, we'll call you One Win Berg. One Win Berg. What are you going to do here?
Stay at 1 win.
Oh, wait. So are you. Sorry. Didn't realize that.
One of us isn't going to be 1 win, whoever we are, by the end of next week. Have a feeling it's not going to be me.
I got the same record as my team, 2-2.
My team is better than me, and that's also weird.
So, well, I might as well let you guys know who won what over the weekend here. So for week 4, talk about our weekly picks. Puckered Starfish won the week with 14 right.
Wow.
Well done.
Hey, good job.
Puckered Starfish. Trying to figure out what that means, and then I thought about what a starfish looks like. And,
you go, oh, okay.
I know what that means. By the way, he beat Arrowhead of the class in the tiebreaker. They both had 14, so good job, Arrowhead of the class. But you win nothing. Current leader in the clubhouse, still Fish Tank. He's got 44 right. So well done, Fish Tank, hanging in there with that those picks that he made at the beginning of the year. He says he has not changed them. I got no reason not to believe him.
Well, I think doesn't it show if you change them? I guess not.
No, only if I go in and change for someone else. Like I, for the first time ever, may have to do that for Radio Ron because he keeps forgetting to make his picks. He says he didn't forget, and he said something went wrong. And I was like, you know what? You can't win anything. So on the honor system, tell me what your picks were that week and then with this week, and I'll stick them in the system there. So at least we can track it.
Yeah,
along with everybody else. And he's just too depressed to do that. So he got a big old goose egg this week. Here's what happened with us hosts. Let's see. I got 11 right. My best week so far this season, bringing me up to 35 right. Randy, he had a bad week. He only got 8 right. So now he's below me at 34. Keon, you're hanging in there, tied with Ralph, 37 right. But you got 12 right this week, and he got 11. And beat the book with Dylan Cohen. He got 6 right, and he's got 32 correct so far this year. So, let's talk about fantasy football. Yeah, I'm not gonna pile on, but League 12 Surprise Bears had the highest point total of 184.85 points. That was it. A lot of low scoring games across the fantasy football leagues for Daily Blender. Out of all 14, that was the highest, and nobody else. I think somebody else had 170 something, but beyond those two guys, everything was like in the 140s or below. So, congratulations to Surprise Bears in League 12. Bullseye says, "I'm confused, Jeffrey. What does a puckered starfish look like?" Dude, you got Google. Go look it up. And in fact, Google exactly that term.
I would say use the incognito mode on your browser if you're dating, married, that sort of thing.
Just on my browser.
I'm just throwing that out there as advice that you might want to do.
Robert from Surprise says, "I just squeaked by this week and I get to stay 4-0. I went through and looked at all the leagues. There's a 4-0 in every league, I think, but League One. So there's still people undefeated in every single one of our leagues, including the Premier League. But not League One. So I don't know what that means." President Wallet says, "Starfish Prison, Wallet." Kind of the same thing. Starfish Prison. That sounds like the name of an album.
A little bit, yeah. like a
Starfish Prison,
like a prog rock album.
Moist One says Berg is technically on a winning streak. Oh, that's right. He is on a win streak. Big Jake, going back to the Diamondback, says it was easy to see this failure coming after the blown Milwaukee game. Throwing 97 miles an hour is what damaged his arms. There's probably lots of places where you could pinpoint mistakes that were made and, where things may have gone wrong. There's more than a couple.
More than a few. I think I agree with Big George. He was saying this on the Twitter. They played what is essentially the Padres AAA team and lost. How? Like, genuinely how?
Oh, man. T-Licious just sent me a graphic. This is a crushing graphic for everyone trying to play fantasy football.
Uh-oh.
On the graphic shows Travis Kelce, 0 reception touchdowns. Mark Andrews, 0 touchdowns. Sam Laporta, 0 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk, 0 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 0 touchdowns. Jared Goff, 1 receiving touchdown. He has more receiving touchdowns than all that money I just talked about. Kelce, Andrews, Laporta, Ayuk, Waddle.
I got Andrews, and I'm gonna have to send him to my bench now.
Yeah, you can't get rid of him because it's everywhere. What happened to the tight end position?
I don't know, but Andrews didn't score any points for me last week, and I lost by 7. 0. Back to back
weeks. Was great. I felt good beating you.
0. Nothing. Ugh. I just need, I don't even need a great Mark Andrews game. I need 9 points from him, and I'm okay.
Listen, I had Kyle Pitts, and he got 0, and Gesicki got, I think, negative points. Negative 0.1, was it? What was it? Let me go back and take a look. Or it's just barely positive 0.1.
He was negative at one point in the game, because I remember checking.
Yeah. Oh, he had 0.10. So he had a tenth of a point.
He climbed back into barely positive.
Yeah. Thank God I played him and not Kyle Pitts, who got 0. What's the point of having a tight end position in fantasy football right now?
I genuinely don't know.
We should have made it tight end, like a tight end and something else. What else? Slash wide receiver? I
would love that.
I might go in and change it. I don't know if I'm allowed to.
I don't know if you're allowed to either, but I would.
I'll do it for every league, of course.
Oh my God. I'm dying out here.
This year is, we might put it out there to a vote. I think everybody'd say, dear God, yes, please. I won't make it a
random person who had Sam Laporta this week, I guess.
Well, then they're fine. They can still use them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say tight end, wide receiver, because we already have running back, wide receiver, tight end flex. So why not have the tight end position be a flex-ish this season only? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I don't know. How long is it going to take to get Rashee Rice on the IR so I can move him out of the way and bring somebody else in?
It might be Thursday, because that's when a lot of teams put that injury report up, and then it actually becomes official. They should just go ahead and do it. There's really no.
Was there any word yet? It's ACL for sure. There's no way it's not.
I haven't heard anything, but yeah, it's absolutely ACL. Thanks to my particular fandom, I've seen more than my fair share of ACL injuries and have had them explained to me. That is absolutely, at the very least, an ACL injury.
Well, the Steelers just put James Daniels on injured reserve, so it doesn't mean that they have to wait. But I guess maybe they're getting a second opinion on Rashee Rice. So it's none of my business.
I think if you're the Chiefs, you just want to exhaust every possibility and make sure. But I've just never seen anyone's knee bend like that and it not be an ACL tear.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Oh, you don't?
I don't want to see it.
It's gross. Yeah. It's gross.
Not interested. Big George says, "Oh, don't get me started on a tight end position." Mouth not work. He says, "I've got Travis Kelce in one league, Mark Andrews in another, then Isaiah Likely. They're hurting me greatly." But you know what? Here's the thing: everybody's getting hurt from the tight end position this year. So whatever you get there is something. So don't cut bait on your guys just yet. But I might do a flex on that tight end position. Swazman says, Keon, your fantasy team might be struggling as usual, but your Washington team looking good with Daniels.
They're looking very good. Also, I don't even think my fantasy football team's struggling. I think that I have a guy who scores no points every week.
Well, then that means it's struggling.
He plays tight end. So I'm going to have to do something about that.
Robert from Surprise says, this is the only league that I'm in that has tight end. Everyone else just has an added flex position. Yeah, I might change it. If I can, I might. Does anybody disagree?
I'm not going to argue with you about it.
I am the commissioner. I am the law. Chief Skull says, I beat Tough Call, Jeffrey's fake Division 4 team. I finally had Travis Kelce do something. What did he get, like 10 points? Yeah, he got
something like that. Yeah.
Something. It's not my fake team. It's the commissioner team, and I have nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Bat Flipper says, Giannis knee bent like that. He was back in 2 weeks.
Giannis is Gumby.
It's a different,
and that was a younger Giannis too. Yeah, we're talking, and also it bent like that, but not to that degree. Patrick Mahomes just rolled right into Rashee Rice's knee, and he didn't get to move his foot or anything. I think that's an ACL tear, and I think it's.
Well, Moist One for some reason says, "Do not change it." Angry face. Let me take a look at his team. Let's see why he says
have
that.
The one functioning tight end.
He's because he just got Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers had 5 points last week, 7 points the week before, 18 and 11 the first 2 weeks.
But that's just because the Raiders are bad. The as far as Brock Bowers just getting targets, as many as they're willing to throw to him.
Oh, he's got Hawkinson on the pup list.
Oh, so he's
probably going to. He's probably will be back sooner than later.
Yeah.
Well, I don't take orders from you, Voice One, so we'll see. You know who I take orders from? She's texting me right now about it. It's my wife. I'm going to go with whatever she says. Hell with the rest of you guys.
That's the thing is, you have to live with her.
She lets me touch her certain ways.
Yeah,
you guys, I know you would, Moist One, but everyone else would not. Just saying. Moist One says, "Well, get rid of kickers then too." Shut up, Moist One. Swazman says, "Jeffrey, I'm dropping Rashad Rice in League 2. Are you may as well right?" I am not dropping anything until I know for sure.
Wait and see how serious that is. Because if that's not a season ender and you jump the gun,
just shelve them just in case.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you nothing unless you got two other guys end up on the IR. We still have those reserve positions. You just can't see them until you try to use it. Once a guy has IR in his name or whatever is enough to get you put on that reserve, you click on the thing and you start to drag it. It'll tell you the different places you can put it. So hang in there with that, maybe a minute. Chief Skull says, "Do not change the tight end. And we don't need to hear about inappropriate touches." Well, I'm not going to give you any details. Jealous. Robert from Surprise says, "Hoping the Raiders can extend their winning streak against the Broncos to 9 games. Well, I'm sure you are.
You've got a very good chance of doing it.
Big George says, "I think it's only fair to keep it the way it is. If we would have had 2 flex positions after draft, we might have drafted differently." All right, that's a fair point. That is a fair point. 8073 says, "I was lucky enough to pick up Kittle off waivers last week." T-Licious says, "Kittle's working for me." All right.
No, that's true. Kittle's been good.
Average Joe says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm back from my trip to Alaska and luckily missed both the Cardinals losses and the Diamondbacks failure. Anything else important I missed?" No. We're starting up October right now. After today, I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. So, at least you get to say goodbye to me. We'll just kind of hi-fi in the hallway as I walk out. But when we come back, there's things to look forward to in October. And also, everybody's dying. What the hell? Everybody's dying. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
After 3 years of legalized sports betting, something completely new is now live in Arizona. Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book here, and I'd like to introduce you to SportTrade. SportTrade is the first sports betting app that gives you the option to see the odds expressed as probabilities, and it's going to change in-game betting forever. If it's easier to understand 52% probability of winning versus minus 108 odds, SportTrade is your new home. With this percent odds feature, cashing out now makes much more sense. As the win probability changes, so does the value of your bet. Even if you're an experienced bettor and you prefer American odds, you'll love seeing odds closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110 offered just about everywhere else, coupled with near instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. Download SportTrade on your iPhone today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Now, you can be the guy that eventually gets bits and pieces of the latest news. Or you can get the whole story when it breaks. The NFL is always in season here.
That's how we do it.
Follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. My wife says, yes, change it.
Make it so.
I know. But I have to consider what George was saying. Like, well, if we'd known it was going to be a flex position, we might have drafted differently. And I say, would you? I don't know if you would. I don't know if you would. And plus, we left a couple of extra positions in since COVID. So you already were drafting differently than you would in other leagues. There's more openings because every single one of our leagues is a 10-team league, which means there's, an adequate number of players go around. In the Premier League, not so much.
You don't have to tell me.
It's harder in the Premier League. But I don't know. A bunch of people say don't do it. CK says don't change it. It's pretty damn soft of you to even suggest it. Man card violation, Jeffrey. It's not a man card violation. Just a wasted slot.
It's already to begin with. And, the fantasy football king, Scott Engel, tells us all the time, there's like 5 or 6 guys maybe worth anything at that position. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else is just, as he says, you're chasing mediocrity the entire season. Only the guys that were supposed to be worth anything are also mediocre. So now what do we do?
Moist One says, ask Mr. the King, since you need his input to make a decision anyways. I ask him like 1 or 2 things every week. And let me just tell you something. I'm not going to follow his advice anymore. Okay. And I'm not trying to talk bad about him. I think he's been effing with me. Because almost everything he's told me
he told
has gone horribly wrong.
He told me not to play Jameson Williams.
Well, oof. I should have made that trade with Moist One, by the way.
My soul hurts. My soul hurts in ways that,
he's very good at what he does. He is the man, and everybody.
It's largely correct, but just last week
he's human.
Yeah,
everybody. Even Rose Lee made mistakes. People make mistakes.
Yeah.
but I think he's intentionally effing with me.
With you in particular.
For some reason this year, he's coming at me.
You suggested one. I can't even remember what it was. You said one thing, and he's been gunning for you ever since then.
And you know what? I was right about that thing. Whatever it was, I remember being right about it.
Maybe it was Worthy or something. It was some receiver you had that was like, "This is my project," and he was like, "Ah, screw it, get rid of that guy."
And then Moisman picked him up.
And he turned out to be all right. Yeah.
Moisman says, "Watch your back, Brad." I know he's coming at me. He thinks I'm somebody else, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he wasn't calling you Brad. He kept calling Ralph Brad.
He called everybody Brad that day. So, listen, he's still the man,
except for Randy because he likes Randy.
Right? I think he's the only one. Everyone else is Brad. Then there's Randy. So when I get back from my trip, I'm going to try to stay out of the way. I'm just going to do my own thing. Because there's a lot of stuff that I was going to do. I might be in a different position right now. Moist one. You don't have to worry about that right now. Robert from Surprise says it's week 4, kind of late to change it, but it would be nice to get it changed for next year. Yeah, I might.
Maybe if we go through this season and the tight ends don't come back around and don't get this stuff figured out, it might be worth thinking about.
So should I ask the king? He's going to say, don't do it.
He's probably going to say, don't do it. But, it's worth an ask.
Well, I don't want to be the one that gets smacked around for it either.
All right. I'll ask. And I'll just say someone said this is probably good. And as opposed to
send him a message on Twitter. Do you follow him on Twitter?
I do.
Yeah. Send him a message. And like during the next break or something and see, because I want to know what he thinks about it. I just don't want him to kick me in the nuts over it. I thought I was asking him some basic questions, and he just hauls off and kicks me right in the giblets.
Yeah. If you ask the question, he's going to probably tell you it's the worst idea anyone's ever had. How did you become the commissioner of a league? And I can never tell sometimes when he's screwing with you and when he's serious.
I'm not thin-skinned or nothing.
It just sounds like the same voice. He just uses the same voice for both. I'm
not
tell.
Thin-skinned or anything. It's more like he doesn't hurt my feelings because I hack on people all the time. They hack on me, but when he does it, you feel like your dad's disappointed in you.
Yeah, you just.
Chief Skull says, "Don't change the tight end to flex. We would have switched, and it's a man card violation if you cave to the wife who runs the house and not the fantasy league." He said, "That's from Hefty Lefty." It's not from Hefty Lefty. That's from you, Chief Skull. And he said,
"You work together."
By the way, have you seen my wife? There's no man card violation in that. Big George says, "Yeah, I noticed the king made a couple of bad recommendations. Tell me to play Isaiah Likely. But you know what though? Here's the thing: Isaiah Likely is a good play. Okay, yeah, that's a good play. Isaiah Likely." Nobody can figure out the tight end position this year. So I wouldn't go after him for that.
Yeah. And the Ravens are like, oh yeah, no, we're going to play 2 tight ends and throw to neither of them.
Seabass is cracking me up. Niner Annapolis says, "I say go for it and make the change. In my opinion, if people have a crappy tight end, I'm sure everyone could scrounge up a receiver or running back to fill in. I wouldn't mind starting an extra running back or receiver. And I got Jay Ferguson and Dalton Kincaid, just my 2 cents. I don't know if I'd put the running back in there. I might just make it tight end wide receiver. I'm just saying." Moist one says, "Can you tell the king to follow me back too?"
I don't know if I could tell him that.
Yeah,
but you could ask him if you follow him, you should be able to message him, and then you could
tell you what, Moist one. Can't promise you anything, but maybe I can get Britney Spears to follow you back
because I don't think he's following me either, and I'm not on Twitter enough to care.
So, all right, today, by the way, October 1st, like I said, don't forget to pay your rent. But there's also another thing about today. It's National Taco Day. The day is today, Taco Tuesday. It's always the first Tuesday in October, so it can be Taco Tuesday. So everybody eat tacos for Taco Tuesday. 90% of U.S. adults like tacos. 10% are wrong.
Agreed.
Or just being that way.
Who are the 10%? What would prompt you to not like tacos?
I can't think of a single thing. I mean, even if you have no teeth, they're soft tacos.
Yeah.
There's no excuse not to like tacos.
If you're gluten intolerant, you don't have to have them with wheat. There's a version of a taco for everybody.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I know two people who have a gluten thing. One of them we've mentioned on air, Ralph, because of course he's going to be annoying at a restaurant. But the other, I don't know if I'm allowed to say on air, but I need to introduce them because they know each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they know. I was in a restaurant with the other person and they asked for, can you make me a pizza with this cheese? And had a baggie of his own cheese. Not saying who it is.
Really?
Yeah, but you know who it is.
I do know who it is.
And I just didn't say a thing. Randy and I are both looking at each other all right then.
But the cheese is like a dairy thing now.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe it is something else. I don't know.
The gluten's more wheat.
It's all the same to me. Anybody has food allergies, it's the gluten thing. I don't know.
It's just two people being annoying in a restaurant as far as you're concerned.
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah.
Ringless Joe says, Texas fans bewilder me. Imagine cheering for a state that could be accurately described as post-nuclear wasteland. I think Mad Max is a good comparison. No, Texas is a complete crap hole, but you're
not. If you're a Texas fan, you're a fan of the school.
Yeah, he's a fan of the Longhorns. I'm a fan of the Manning family.
Yeah, not the entire state. What?
Pat Flipper says, my money is Eric Cohen. If it had been him, I'd have just said it. I wouldn't care. No, that dude he would cut his cheese pizza with a knife and eat it with a knife and fork.
That's incorrect. That's all I'm going to say on that subject.
That's enough. CK says, I think the gluten allergy thing is common amongst California douchebags.
I really don't think that's what happens. If your body does not accept wheat, that's just all that's happening there.
Fish Tank says, check out the top 5 tight end scorers this season. I think we'd all say this is not how we saw this year going. Dallas Goedert with 57, Kittle with 43. Well, you always thought Kittle would be in the mix. Bowers with 42, Leclerc with 40, Komet with 40, Freiermuth with 38, Kincaid 32, and Trey McBride 32, but he's injured. So, yeah, no, that's not the list you thought you'd be seeing the names on. Pink Eye says, we're also getting a second moon for 2 months. Maybe we can trade one moon to Saturn for a ring. It'd be awesome if we had a ring. I'm not going to lie to you. That would be cool. But I mean, we have so many damn satellites and space junk up there. It's no time before we do have a ring.
Yeah, we probably will. Yeah.
Seabass says, Ralph has a gluten intolerance? Well, I guess we have something in common. Over. Yeah, I guess so. I don't care if you have a gluten thing. I'm not going to tease you for it, but I'm like, hey, give me the extra gluten. If there's some gluten lying around, send it my way. Robert from Surprise says, a real taco is tortilla, meat, onions, cilantro, and salsa. I think a real taco is whatever the hell you want to make it, Robert. I like backyard taco. Their beef or their chicken. Excellent.
It's great.
And I don't like too much cilantro. My wife loves the cilantro.
I love the cilantro too.
I don't love it in overbearing quantities. Cheese Skull says, Mrs. Cheese Skull calls me a taco whore. To that I say, yes, I am. Me too, Chief Skull. Me too. Chosen One says, get any taco specials? I think Taco Bell has an elaborate hourly dropping of prices thing, but I don't know if you want that. I don't know. I didn't look it up, Chosen One. Sorry. Yeah, let's see. Baker's Cocky Hen says, Jared Goff is outperforming Mark Andrews in receiving points this year. Jared Goff is outperforming a lot of tight ends in receiving touchdowns this year. We talked about that earlier. All right, guys, that is 1 hour down and 2 to go. We come back, other assorted things. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert. 4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air. all weekend long. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
My name is Mary Grace. Early diagnosis is key, but make no mistake, it is a devastating disease.
For more information, contact us at alz.org or through the 24/7 helpline at 800-272-3900. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He'll be back tomorrow, but we got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Moist one texts in and says, why did they ruin the George Lopez song? Why did George Lopez ruin the cool song from the 70s? I mean, everybody takes a turn, I guess, but you're right. That's pretty bad. Let's see. Hamilton Porter says, how about them Tigers? Don't want to talk about other teams that are in the playoffs right now. You guys can talk with Randy about that all you want tomorrow. I'm still butthurt over the Diamondbacks well, whatever, so there. He says, and to think people thought we would trade Scooble at the deadline. Don't want to talk to you right now. I don't want to talk to you right now about this, Hamilton. You can bring that up with Randy all you want later. I don't want to talk to you about it. CK says, all this tight end and backdoor taco talk has Moist went awfully quiet. No one said the word backdoor. I said backyard taco. Did I say backdoor? Pretty sure I said
you said backyard.
Okay, thank you. You did. Case the Cook says, just tuned in and heard douchebag. Are you talking about red rubber hot water bottle with the water hose attachment? Don't put that in your mouth. It is not a water pick. Yeah, well, we know that. I mean, I grew up in the age where there was that water bottle, that hot water bottle hanging on the back of a bathroom door. And it was just kind of like scratching my head going, what the hell is that all about? And then not wanting to know and glad that I never found out until much later in life. I was tempted to play with it, but I thought better. I thought, you know what? No.
Smart move. Smart move as a child, right?
I think I'm just going to leave that alone. Moist one says, it's full of electrolytes. Sure that it is. All right. So listen, it's October 1st. Go pay your rent. Don't forget. And here are some things to look forward to in the month of October. Hopefully cooler weather. Maybe November now. I think November you can start looking forward to cooler weather. So sports wise, for people who aren't dead inside, Major League Baseball playoffs start today. Game 1 of the World Series set for October 25th. The NHL season gets started this weekend, first of 2 games in the Czech Republic. And then the new NBA season starts on the 22nd. I think I don't know, is this week or next week the preseason starts. Suns are going to be playing the Lakers in their first preseason game. And that's going to happen in Palm Springs. It's some arena they got there.
I think it's next week, but yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As far as movies go, that new Joker sequel's coming out. I never saw the first Joker, and this one looks kind of like that Joker, but the next one, I don't know. I don't know.
I like the first one, so
yeah.
I'll probably like this one.
Saturday night, a movie about the early days of SNL hits theaters the 11th. No one will see it. No one will see it. And it will be horrible. Smile 2, if you like the first Smile horror movie.
I'm very bad with horror movies, so
yeah, I don't know.
I didn't watch the first one. It looked very scary. I will not watch this one. It also looks scary.
Did you care about the Venom movies with Tom Hardy?
Yeah, they were fun, you know.
What happened to when they would release good movies?
Oh,
what happened to that?
Yeah, no, I think they're done with that.
Where's the summer blockbusters? I mean, I know the summer's over, but did you feel like you got blockbusted? I don't feel like anything blockbusted me.
I just think that I don't know. The movie ever since the pandemic, movie studios have been very weird. We don't really get blockbusters anymore. They just sort of release the movie whenever.
They show up on Amazon or Apple TV. That's fine by me. Bunch of fall shows are back. I don't care to go over the list. If you have a show you love, you already know. Ooh, What We Do in the Shadows comes back October 21st. That's all I care about.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's last season, though. That's a bummer. Got the vice presidential debate tonight. Can I just say that's about worthless? Well, why do you want to see the vice president people fighting it out? They don't matter. They don't matter until they do.
Yeah.
And you can, let's see, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, October 19th. So that's nice. Then there are holidays, mostly for our Jewish friends. Rosh Hashanah starts tomorrow night. Yom Kippur starts on the 11th. Columbus Day on the 14th. All the good Jewish holidays. And then, of course, Halloween on the 31st, which we celebrate as my birthday. Let's see. Lesser holidays. International Beer and Pizza Day on the 9th. National No Bra Day on the 13th. And for you, Keon, National Cat Day on the 29th.
I appreciate that.
For those who celebrate. Robert from Surprise says, vice presidents are important. Look at what we're stuck with now. We're not stuck with anything. It's an election year, dude. You can be stuck with the Jim Gaffigan from Minnesota, or you can be stuck with whoever the hell the other guy is. The guy who likes to hump couches. So you're not really focused on them, are you?
Who's winning here, really?
Baker's Cocky Hen says vice president doesn't matter until the president is declared too old and has to drop out. Let the vice president take over and run without primaries. Not to be political. Well, I think I'd kind of worry about my immediate threat first, but okay.
Yeah.
You do you.
And it doesn't happen very often. So, watching them debate as though like this is a scenario we'll find ourselves in 4 years from now, it seems a little odd.
Yeah. Hamilton Porter says, did you know Gladiator 2 starring Denzel Washington's coming out? I'm serious. Yeah, I know. I saw a preview for it. I just don't know when. It's not coming out in October. T-Licious says the second Joker movie looks like a musical. So there's that. The whole thing's a musical? Oh, the hell with that.
That's a weird idea, which means I want to watch it.
I don't watch musicals. I mean, I'll let my geek flag fly. I like Star Trek. And when that Star Trek Strange New Worlds had a musical episode, I watched it and hated it and thought, this didn't happen.
Yeah. If I ever watch through this show again, you're just not going to go back to that one.
Skipping that episode right there.
Mm-hmm.
Big George says, Jeffrey, why is everybody dying? Oh, I know. I didn't even get through let's talk about it. Why is everybody dying? Here's all the people who've died. all the people who've died. That's a song. Maggie Smith, the old lady from Harry Potter, the googly-eyed looking lady. She was very cool. Dame Maggie Smith, sorry. John Ashton. Well, that was Taggart from Beverly Hills Cop. I guess he had the cancer.
Yeah.
Explains why he looked so skinny when they did the last Beverly Hills Cop. And then Chris Christopherson, the country music singer guy. He died at, what was he, like 88 or something? Yeah. Peacefully at his home.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was that old.
A lot of these people, I didn't realize they were even alive. You could have told me they've been dead for years and I wouldn't have known. I mean, Maggie Smith, because she shows up, she used to show up and stuff.
Yeah.
But John Ashton, just that was it.
Yeah.
That's all I knew him from, Beverly Hills Cop.
Same.
And then John Amos, the dad from Good Times, died today at 85.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just happened. And then Drake Hogston from Days of Our Lives. If you watch soaps, you know who that is. Barbara Lee Hunt from Alfred Hitchcock's movie Frenzy. So all kinds of people just dying left and right. Pete Rose died.
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday while we were on the show.
Can I just say right now, don't you dare put him in the Hall of Fame now. If you didn't do it while he was alive, don't you dare do it.
They're going to do it, right?
Just don't.
The part
piss
of
me off.
Part of their being a jerk to Pete Rose, in my opinion, was to deny him the satisfaction of seeing himself inducted.
But all the guys that he pissed off, if you're doing it because it's the right thing to do, don't ever do it. If you're doing it just to piss him off while he was alive, well, all the people who he lied to and was a jerk to back when this went down are dead. So don't. Just if you didn't do it, don't.
I agree with you. I still think they're going to do it, though.
He's already in the Hall of Fame. The WWE Hall of Fame. He was one of those first guys who came over to jumped in the ring during a WrestleMania back in 1998. And he was like, I'm going to go fake wrestling because he's like, I got bills.
You got bills and they don't make you do all of the stunts that actually hurt actual wrestlers. So you're fine.
Yeah, he got tombstone pile driven. And that was from that and then other appearances that they put him in there. But he still has these Major League Baseball records: most hits 4,256, most singles 3,215, career games 3,562, career at bats 14,053, career plate appearances 15,890. Yeah, he was a great player. He was.
Yeah. He gambled on baseball, and that's it. And I just it just does suck because he ends up being lumped into a group of people he's nothing like. You're denied access to the Hall of Fame as though you are somebody like a Barry Bonds or a Mark McGwire who cheated the game, and he never did that. And yeah, he did tarnish a lot of his association with the game, but to me, when I think about the Hall of Fame, can you tell the story of whatever sport that is without that player? And I just genuinely don't think you can tell the story of baseball properly without Pete Rose. So he got to be in the Hall of Fame. That's to me, it's a cut and dry case. But here we are.
I don't know. At this point, it's too late.
Yeah.
And then Dikembe Mutombo, brain cancer, died at 58.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Let's go to the text line because now we talked about all these dead folks. Everybody's going to want to say something about it. Baker's Cocky Hen says Rose deserved the ball before he died. I think he meant Hall. Mark Gray still holds the record for slump busters, though. Robert from Surprise says Pete Rose story sounds a lot similar to something that happened recently with $700 million man. I don't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain a little bit more of what you mean there.
I don't get it.
You're making an allusion to something that we're not on the same page there, my friend.
Big George says, yeah, but how about Jimmy Carter? He's now 100. He made it. Yeah, nobody thought he'd made it, but yeah, there he is.
Somebody made a joke on the Twitter about the Lego box. It has the age range of people to play with Legos, and it says ages 4 to 99. Mm-hmm. So Jimmy Carter officially too old to play with Legos.
He's got them. You slap those Legos out of his hands. You have no right.
Yeah, sorry, man. You're over the range.
He says, it's pretty impressive for a peanut farmer. Those are high in fat, but yeah, but it makes you want to go eat some peanuts now, doesn't it? Helen Porter says Gene Hackman's 94. Oh, that's right. He's still driving around too. I saw a report on him not too long ago.
Wow.
Hefty Lefty says conflicting reports are out on John Amos. Some reports had him dead like 2 months ago. Odd situation on that one. Rest in peace to that man, though. Yeah, maybe it was one of those things where he was struggling and somebody just reported something wrong, and maybe now it really is the thing. But yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome in Coming to America. He was awesome in, The Good Times, but he was awesome in other stuff too.
Yeah.
He'd pop up every now and then. You're like, oh, this is having good times. He was good. He was a good actor. He was actually a really good actor.
Yeah.
Fish Tank says new Joker is a musical, and it's a super bummer because I wasn't against seeing Lady Gaga as slutty Harley Quinn, but since it's a musical, not going to see it. Okay.
Yeah, a weird
Don't blame me.
musical I'd watch that.
Now let's just see what people say, I guess.
Yeah.
Scratch Me Because says, when is National Cats Without Bras Day? That's
every day.
Yeah.
Cats don't wear that.
I'd like to see you get a bra on a cat, Scratch Me Because.
You'll never happen. They'll scratch you because, yeah.
Ringless Joe, I clicked on you, but for some reason it's giving me the thinky wheel. So all I can read is Arizona fans are on life support, and that's it. So I'll come back around to you. I don't know why it's not. There it is. A bad Cardinals team 3 years in a row. Badly mismanaged Suns team got swept. A Diamondbacks September collapse to miss the playoffs. And the Coyotes, they're actually dead. Yeah, thanks for English, Joe. We know.
Yeah,
we don't need you to tell us.
I just
you're ringless, you son of a.
You were here. We were here. We all witnessed it.
At least we've got a championship.
It's singular. Look, it's better than some towns have. They don't all have one.
Robert from Surprise says Shohei Ohtani. Oh, see, there's no evidence that he did anything. You're just speculating.
Pete Rose. People. There are eyewitnesses that have Pete Rose in the dugout, picking up the phone in the dugout during games, calling his bookie. The Pete Rose and Shohei, not the same situation even remotely, because the thing with Shohei is that you don't have any evidence that Shohei himself did anything.
Hefty Lefty says, I saw that wild robot over the weekend. Highly recommend that movie. Pixar level film from DreamWorks. What are you, 8? We saw we saw the preview for that, and my wife goes, I just miss having little kids to go watch these kinds of movies with. And I said, you shut your mouth.
Why?
Because we're not having more kids, and it's too soon for grandkids.
So just go watch the movie.
I didn't actually say that out loud, because if I did, she'd have beat the hell out of me. But I thought it.
I'm not having children. But, if you tell a good story and the story is good, I'll go watch the story.
I ain't ready for no grandkids. Had lunch with my son over the weekend. And he says, hey, I got some news for you. I'm like, oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. He's like, no, I decided to stop teaching. I'm working for some company doing software stuff, and more money and everything is great. I was like, oh, that's great. And I'm like, is that all your news? Yeah. Okay. You can order anything you want off the menu now. It's fine. Hefty says that movie's just as much for parents as it is for kids. That's the bull crap we all told ourselves when we had to see horrible movies. I got to see Rugrats in Paris. That's right. No. From the front row, because those are the only seats left. And my son was like, but I want to see it. I don't mind sitting in the front row.
That is not a movie anyone would have ever said, oh, adults will love this just as much as children. Rugrats in Paris. I dare you to find the article or review or criticism of that movie.
They always give that lie for every kid's movie since the 90s.
Well, in my lifetime, it's been the Pixar movies are the only movies that get that prestigious honor of adults will like it too. And it's actually somewhat correct.
Bullseye says, my wife said that too. And we're actively trying for child number 10. Thanks to your pep talk, Jeffrey and Keon, we're trying for a boy.
We never said to do that. I specifically recall not saying not to do that. But I guess you felt inspired anyway, and congrats.
I enjoy the trying though. Enjoy the trying.
Well, that's the best part. the having the kids is the.
Robert from Surprise says, I like Shrek and the Incredibles. Okay, but that's not the point. Listen, I am past the time in my life where I need to go and sit down at some kid's stupid recital and pretend like these kids are not horrible at playing instruments or singing songs. That was some of the worst hours of my life. Sitting there with the camera going, oh, God, this is the worst. How does it get worse?
You'll never go back and watch those things again. And not because you won't, try to remember where the time is gone. It's just when you go back and hear it, it's going to sound exactly like it did the first time. Bad.
Bat Flipper says, Team America World Police. Great movie for kids. Oh, yeah, there's puppets in it.
Oh, no.
No, there's puppets in it, Gary.
I just don't think that really makes that.
Come over here, Gary.
Oh, boy.
Gary, come over here. Scratch Me Cuz says, why are all the old Disney movies rated G when someone or something always dies in them? That is a Disney thing.
There are a couple of the Toy Stories that just genuinely, that's a PG. That's not a G.
Even the one where they're all about to go into the incinerator?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I was rooting for the incinerator. Because I'm dead inside.
We've noticed.
Fighting Wampa says, John Amos was in the best movie ever, Beastmaster. Never saw that.
I never saw it either.
I think that was in the 80s, right? Big George says, don't forget, Tito Jackson died. That was like a while ago. And nobody cares.
Oh, my God.
Jazz great Benny Golson also died at the age of 95. Oh, good for him, man. 95 is a good score.
That's a good run.
Wilbur says, have we talked about Arizona versus Utah college football, or should we wait for Keon Rose's college football dance party? And I'll show you guys some of my great dance moves. No, you won't.
We'll have to imagine them.
Like you have to imagine most things visually.
No boy.
Yeah, wait till the dance party. I don't think we're going to do that today. Hamilton Porter says, speaking of Batman, Penguin show is great. Is Batman in it? Is Batman in the Penguin show? It's a show now? I thought it was a movie.
Well, the Batman is a movie. The show is like a spinoff of the movie.
No, but is Batman in it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Then I don't care.
I'm looking forward to it. And
you're sticking Colin Farrell into a fat suit, and I'm like, oh, good acting. And then what? Is Batman in the movie? No, don't care about the Penguin. I don't care about his backstory. I like the Danny DeVito Penguin, where he's sitting there eating salamanders, eating sardines. This Batman, I don't care. This Penguin, don't care.
I care a little.
Cardinal Art, well, let me know if it's worth a damn, because I don't care.
I haven't seen any of it though. So
Cardinal Art says, how about Tony Hawk's son and Kurt Cobain's daughter having a kid together? That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, like, okay,
it's interesting.
Spawn of the 90s now have spawned the 2020s. Okay. I mean, hope the kid's cool. I mean,
should be, but
So if you see him skateboarding with a shotgun, that's not great.
Your fingers crossed for guitar.
What do you think? I was going to go the Courtney Love way? No, I'm going the Kurt Cobain one.
Oh.
Scratch Me Because says there's two ways he could be taller than his dad.
Oh boy. Oh my God. Oh no.
Yeah, that one makes you have to think, but you get it. Scratch Me Because says John Amos was in Die Hard 2 as a badass. I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either. I haven't seen Die Hard 2 in a long time. Might be worth a rewatch. I don't remember.
You might be right. Nurse Scratchit. Hey, there she is. Says you can always use those child pics and videos for blackmail when they're teenagers and adults. No, that is absolutely true.
No, that's just to embarrass them around all their friends. And
I am not above it.
Yeah.
I have zoomed in on nose picking and other things when it comes to kid performances on the risers.
Mm-hmm. You got to get something out of it. They're making you go and watch, quite frankly, awful musical performances. There needs to be something in it for you.
Bullseye says, I don't get that Kurt Cobain joke. Didn't he die from a drug overdose? No, he blew his head off with a shotgun. So at one point he was this tall. After he was this tall.
Oh my God.
I think he was like 5'8". No, I'm sorry, 5'4". So
that's brutal.
I think that's all we have now for everybody's dying segment. Let's move on. Come on back. We'll get the sports talk going again. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hey, football fans, Michael Vick here. They say I transformed the quarterback position. The fastest ever, the strongest arm, the most rushing yards. They call me a game changer. I say BetUS.com changed the sports betting game. It started 30 years ago with the industry's biggest bonuses, and they haven't stopped. This football season, get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Join me at BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino, BetUS, where the game begins.
You may know me as Ruben Gallego, but I've had a lot of titles over the years. First, son, or mijo, by my single immigrant mom who works so hard to make ends meet, and brother, by my 3 incredible sisters. I've been called janitor, line cook, construction worker, doing any job I could to help out since we didn't have much. I earned the title graduate from Harvard University. I was called infantryman in the Marines when my company took some of the heaviest losses in Iraq. I'm called congressman, proudly representing Arizona the past 10 years. But my favorite title of all is dad to my 2 beautiful kids whose future I'm fighting for every day. That's why today, my title is candidate for Senate. I'm fighting to lower costs and secure our border. I'm Ruben Gallego, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message because for me, it's never been about titles. It's about standing up for hardworking Arizonans like you.
Paid for by Gallego for Arizona.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to HarmonSolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast, too. Check it out. Go to HarmonSolar.com. That's HarmonSolar.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
I'm going to take exception with this. It's Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. So Bullseye, after we explained the Kurt Cobain joke, says, that's very graphic, Jeffrey, but I appreciate the correction and explanation of the joke. Good dad joke. It's not a dad joke.
Dad joke is a joke a dad would tell his child.
Dad jokes don't end with somebody blowing their head off, Bullseye. That's a dark joke. What are you talking about?
You should not be around children if you think that's a dad joke. You're going to traumatize a lot of kids.
Well, I've probably done that too.
You've definitely done that. I would be shocked if you didn't.
So, you know how the Oakland A's moving to Vegas because the Raiders moved to Vegas. And, well, I guess the guys in Green Day, I didn't realize that Billy Joe Armstrong was a fan of the Oakland Athletics. And
Really?
he says, yeah, he's like, Vegas is a bleep hole. He says, we don't take bleep from people like effing A's owner John Fisher. I hate Vegas. It's the worst bleep hole in America. So now some radio stations have banned their music in Vegas, which
at this point in their career, okay.
They've made the money, and I'm sure they don't care if Vegas has them, hosts them, or plays their stuff.
The money that they'll make in Vegas is when they physically go to Vegas to play, a thing that they'll still get paid a lot of money to do.
So the radio guy is like, well, I hate to say it, as much as Raiders suck, but when they were good in Oakland, they were worth $1 billion or $2 billion. Now they're worth $6 billion. It was a good business decision, and the A's want some of that, and I don't blame them, says the radio guy who's banned the Green Day. It's just dumb as hell. Just dumb as hell.
Yeah, it's very petty.
So,
and not even in a fun way. Just petty.
Baker's Cocky Hen says Keon calling out someone for scaring kids is ironic, says Brunswick guy.
Well, that's because I yell on the radio. If that scares your kids are just soft. If you tell a kid about a person blowing their head off, that might actually scare children. Brunswick guy, see the difference? See how your children are tissue paper and cottonelle, and other children just don't need to know about suicide just yet? See how that's not the same thing, Brunswick guy?
Well, that wasn't actually Brunswick guy. That was Baker's Cocky Hens joking, pretending to be Brunswick guy.
Well, my point still stands. I don't see how I'm incorrect
No,
about
fine.
that.
Just wanted you to know before you got too
Okay.
out of just.
It's because I thought I already chewed Brunswick guy out about this stuff.
Fish Tank says, yeah, Green Day is from the Bay Area. Rodeo, I think. Or did you really mean to say rodeo?
No, I think he meant rodeo.
I'm just making sure. All right. So ASU is playing the Jayhawks. I know you'll talk about this on Friday for Keon Rose's college football dance party, but I won't be here. So I just want you to tell me real quick, because we lost the last game. That was kind of bull crap. But I mean, it is what it is.
It was a team that's just a little bit better.
30-22. So yeah, it was close. No moral victories though. So how do we look against the Kansas Jayhawks?
Kansas is better than Texas Tech. So if you're not beating Texas Tech, it's going to be much harder to beat the Kansas Jayhawks. This is not a game that's impossible for ASU to win.
Why are we favored? The money line right now is plus 150 if you take Kansas. Minus 150 on ASU. Spread is 3.
I can't answer that. unless somebody is out that I'm not aware of.
All right, so listen,
I haven't looked at the game at all.
I won't be aware of what's happening for the next couple of weeks. So what I need you to do is make sure that ASU wins while I'm gone.
I will do my best. I'll talk to Coach Dillingham and see what we can get done.
Because if they don't, I'm gonna need answers when I come back.
All right. I hope I don't need to have answers.
Do what you need to do, but get it done. Delicious says the reason ASU is favored is because Kansas is 1-4. You sure they're a better team?
Well, preseason they were. I have not watched a whole lot of Kansas football, so I could be wrong about that. But
maybe there is a chance. You better look into that. Big George says Billy Joe Armstrong is not wrong. Las Vegas is a crap hole. I would never live there. Nice place to visit and waste money and burn your ass off in the heat, but I'd never live there.
Which is why every sports team trying to build a team in Vegas or have success in Vegas. Why? Why do you think Vegas is the city that would do that?
People will come.
People will come.
You'll
but
fill those stadiums.
And I think the A's are in for a rude awakening because that ownership group does not spend money. And there is nobody going to watch those games if that team is going to be as bad as they have been. Like you can be in Vegas, you can draw attention, but you'll be like Miami. If you're the spectacle, people will show up and watch you. If you're even remotely less than good, if you're just average, people will find any other thing in that city to do. I don't know that that's a great idea because sometimes you will be rebuilding.
Now that cool Sphere building is already like about to go bankrupt or whatever, and so they'll sell that for pennies on the dollar, and then somebody else is going to take it. You think it'll be affordable now? Like they'll start doing stuff there that,
maybe
that'd be great. I wouldn't.
It's really bankrupt already. Cause they hold concerts and stuff in it.
Who was I talking to the other day that was saying they had gone to Vegas? Who was I talking to?
I don't know, but
they were saying, how bad it is there for all the, just gross out there.
I had a friend who went in the Sphere.
Yeah. What'd they think? It's cool, huh?
It was very cool. Went for a Grateful Dead concert.
Bat Flipper says Raiders tickets are 3 times what other teams' tickets are. Depends on how you get them, but yeah, okay. So there's a good point.
And for a team that's not good.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the time, people from other team fan bases would come to watch the Cardinals. So I'm sure that's a central location. You're going to Vegas for fun. Hey, let's go see a football game. All right, let's go do it.
Yeah,
and you're paying stupid money for tickets to dumb shows there. Like, oh boy, Carrot Top. Nowhere on the planet is Carrot Top tickets a good idea.
You'll make a lot of money, but like the most money that teams make, the money that you really feel good about because you don't really have to share, is playoff money. When you go to the playoffs, you can't have bad teams in that city because people will just not go watch the team.
Hefty Lefty says, I can't imagine that Vegas is a huge radio market that Green Day'd care about not being in.
Yeah, I think
I'm sure you're right. Pink Eye says, do you guys think GCU could join the Mountain West or the Pac-12? Well, they don't have a football team. But if you're talking about basketball, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they've moved to the West Coast Conference, which is a really, really good basketball conference. You wouldn't need to join the Mountain West for that. You know, that you've already got all of the validation you need when you have to play Gonzaga every year, when you get to play St. Mary's every year, and a lot of these other schools that are perennially at least in the conversation for the NCAA tournament. And in the case of Gonzaga is almost always in the conversation to win the whole thing every year.
Hamilton Porter says, speaking of the Raiders, have we discussed the Devontae Adams trade proposal? Yeah, I mean, is there any takers? I don't know. I mean, he said he wanted to be traded. The team's like, all right, we'll see what we can do. That's all we know so far.
Yeah, I mean, and they can try, and maybe we try and there's nothing there because we're not going to give you away for free. You're a good player.
Hamilton Porter says, all I'll say is Vegas doesn't like losing money, so they know something. Same reason my number 10 Wolverines are 2.5-point underdogs to unranked Washington.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I'm going to have to take a closer look than I thought.
Big George says, my in-laws went to see a Grateful Dead concert in the Sphere. How? They're all dead. Isn't everybody in the Grateful Dead dead, or at least the relevant ones?
I don't, you can't ask me. I don't know who is left in the Grateful Dead.
But he says that they had an obstructed view seat, and nowhere did they disclose that seat was obstructed. They spent a lot of money for those tickets.
It's a Sphere. How did?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Where would the obstruction be in there? I don't know. And I only have the video that my friend took that he posted on social media of the concert, so I don't know what the obstructed view would be in there, to be honest.
Yeah, well, maybe let us know in case we ever go. T. Licious says Gonzaga is joining the Pac-12 in 26. He believes. Okay.
Maybe.
Is that a joke, or
that's got to be a maybe? I mean, you can have those feelings, but why would you leave the West Coast Conference, a conference you dominate essentially completely, to go play in the Pac-12 with a bunch of schools who, quite frankly, not as good as the schools that were there originally? Like, it's not a step up to the Pac-12 the way that it was before.
Did you know Eddie Lacy lived here? I didn't even know he lived here.
No,
or was he just visiting?
I had no clue.
Yeah, he got arrested for extreme DUI. In Scottsdale. It always happens in Scottsdale, doesn't it?
Every time.
10:40 p.m. That's where all the clubs are. And they saw him, driving badly. And so when they pulled him over, he's like, dude, you drunk? And he's like, nope. And they're like, yeah, you are. And then so they tested him, and guess what? 0.20 or more.
Oh, no.
So he's taken into custody and released Tuesday morning. Outside of that, I didn't even know he lived here.
Me neither. I don't think I've ever heard that. Though a lot of athletes, they golf and then they come out here and play, and then realize, you know what, this is not a bad place to be in the fall and
except for months. Now.
Well, except for now, which makes me mad, by the way, because we were getting a little bit of hope there. The temperatures were going down. We were below 100, which I'm not picky. I'll just take any number in the double digits at this point. I at 95 is good enough for me. Then we just went back up. Why did we go up?
Was it 111 today or something? I don't know what it was, but looking at the forecast, at least for my area over here in Queen Creek, 100. Let's see here. That's just for today. So it was 111. Wait, no, here we go. 104 tomorrow, 106 on Thursday, 107 Friday, 106 Saturday, 107, 106, all the way into next week. It'll be below 110 if you're lucky, but still ridiculous. If this is like the normal average high, I am leaving and never coming back.
It says it's 108 here in Scottsdale right now, and I'm just losing my mind.
Woof.
Because this is supposed to be the cool part of the day.
Wilbur says, yes, Gonzaga is joining the Pac-12, and I believe it is 2026. Grand Canyon likely to go as well.
Hey,
Harvey
why not?
Puckswaddler says, yep, heard it too.
All right. Well, there you go.
Fighty Wampa says, are there any good views if you're watching the Grateful Dead live nowadays? Yeah, they were probably fine where they were. Hefty Lefty says, well, that poor guy legit ate himself out of the league. Eddie Lacy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I mean,
remember that.
Eddie Lacy is the one person that, like, every now and then you'll have a player or an athlete who can't control their diet and then they just show up skinny. Eddie Lacy is the one guy that got made fun of, and then he showed up bigger than he was when people were making fun of him. Man, he had so much talent.
He did. He was awesome. So he, Moist One says, Seahawks legend, Eddie Lacy.
Okay.
Dude, Packers legend, Eddie Lacy.
Though he was a Seahawk, I guess. So,
yeah, whatever. Swazman says, Jeffrey, my modest bets like Keon, $1, maybe less. After 3 years, I'm still up $60. Fun to be a true recreational bettor. What are you talking about? Did he bet you $1 or something?
I don't.
Oh,
remember.
no. What he's trying to say is he bets like you, like a $1 bet here, $1 bet there, but he's up $60.
Oh, good for you.
After 3 years, so he gets to have his fun betting, and he's still up.
Yeah, and then
being in the plus is all that matters, man.
That's all that matters. I'm not in the plus, so good for you.
Bullseye says 117 last Saturday, still above 110, and it's October.
I just need this to stop. Like I need this to stop. This has to end somewhere.
Big George is reconsidering moving back.
The fact that you were considering moving back is kind of crazy to me in the first place. You live in San Diego. That's the dream of a lot of people, is to wind up in San Diego.
Lost Toby says, hey, thanks for them midget wrestling tickets. Had a blast. Oh, that's right.
You forgot.
Send some photos. Send some photos. I want to see. Did anybody take pictures? I want to see that. Wilbur says Oliver Miller had a diet problem, but when dude played well, his basketball instincts were super good. Hefty Lefty says Flagstaff is great this time of year. It's still like mid 80s up in Pine Top Lakeside.
Man,
it ain't supposed to be mid 80s. Anyway, I don't want to get all into that.
Yeah. Also, with the thing about Oliver Miller was that Oliver Miller could be big and play well. Eddie Lacy could not, and sometimes that's just the difference.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, looking like rain in Mid-Mesa. Hey, I'd expect to get a little cooler than humid and hot again. Feel even worse. You know how it works. Car is claiming 110 currently. Screaming Goat says, the photos they send you should come quicker too, because the file is smaller because it's the midget wrestling. Boo.
Now that's a dad joke. See, that's a dad joke.
That's a smaller file. Thank you, Screaming Goat. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. Let's talk some NFL football. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
You may know me as Ruben Gallego, but I've had a lot of titles over the years. First, son, or mijo, by my single immigrant mom who worked so hard to make ends meet, and brother, by my 3 incredible sisters. I've been called janitor, line cook, construction worker, doing any job I could to help out since we didn't have much. I earned the title graduate from Harvard University. I was called infantryman in the Marines when my company took some of the heaviest losses in Iraq. I'm called congressman, proudly representing Arizona the past 10 years. But my favorite title of all is dad, to my 2 beautiful kids, whose future I'm fighting for every day. That's why today, my title is candidate for Senate. I'm fighting to lower costs and secure our border. I'm Ruben Gallego, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message because for me, it's never been about titles. It's about standing up for hardworking Arizonans like you.
Paid for by Gallego for Arizona.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
In most countries of the world, Porte means door. United Porte Custom Doors, located in the Scottsdale Airport Design District, is now open with over 40,000 European doors, all in stock, ready for delivery, and at wholesale prices. Designers, contractors, builders, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Porte, Porte. Stop by to see and feel the quality at United Porte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
Did you know you can track the status of your early ballot this fall? If you're planning to vote by mail for the November election, Arizona offers text and email updates, so you can track your vote. Know when your early ballot is sent and received in Arizona. With Ballot Tracks, registering is simple. Sign up at arizona.vote or call 877-843-8683. Track your vote this fall. Visit arizona.vote to sign up today. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Secretary of State's office.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert. 4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
This is Brad Musburger. Don't miss Betting Across America, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Today's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And hey, look, who showed up? It's Randy White.
Hi, everybody. I'm here.
We were just talking about the weather, man. No, wait. We were talking about the weather, man.
Man. Oh, okay.
But you're
okay.
the weather man.
Yeah.
Hell's going on, man.
Well, it's extremely hot outside from the Harman Solar 1580, the Fanatic Weather Center, currently under mostly sunny skies, clouds building in the north and east of us. It is 109 degrees, 108 in Scottsdale. And in Kailua, Hawaii, it's a beautiful 80 and partly cloudy.
Nobody cares about Hawaii.
We're going to be 111 later on tomorrow, and then it starts to dip down to 106 by the weekend, 104 on Monday. Hey, what's that? I see double digits starting Wednesday, 97, 93. Currently, winds are out of the southeast at a brisk 4 miles an hour. And, currently 11% humidity or so, and you can see for 25 plus miles. But, there's some clouds building in the north and east there, Jeffco. And it looks like they're headed across the valley. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Here at the Weather Center, we always have our eyes on the skies, as it were.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
hey,
Sorry
earlier an idea came up, and I just want to get your take on it. The tight end position in football ain't doing jack snot.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple of tight ends are doing okay, but it's not like it was last year or the year before that, or it's not how it has been.
Right.
And it's ridiculous. So one of the things I'm looking at, we're coming into week 5, and I'm like, it seems like the tight end position is just worthless, just completely no reason for it to exist. So I thought, what if I went in there and changed it to tight end / wide receiver, so you can flex that and just put a wide receiver there if you want. What do you think of that? Because some people said it's a man card violation. It is what it is. We should play it like we got it. But others like the idea of having the option.
I think. All right, I'll just say it like this. I think the people that like the idea are the ones that have tight ends that aren't doing jack.
Which is
that would be me. Now I'll go on.
I'll be honest. I'm right there. I'm right there.
My wife liked the idea, and I kind of like what she does to me. So I kind of like the idea of doing that for her.
Yeah, I understand that.
Back to back goose.
But I mean, you're the commish. You're the commish. If you feel like that's something that would benefit the league, I certainly back you up 110%.
Anyway, I wish we could do a vote.
Well, we should. We could. It's been a long time since we've done a poll on the X.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do it on the X. I think what I might do is I might go into the fantasy football leagues and in the comments, on the league feed, put it up for a vote there, and then later go back and count those votes and see what happens.
I mean, okay. Yeah, you could do that.
Does anybody ever read the feed?
I don't, but
I could send out an email. I don't know.
You could.
That's true.
Could you do some sort of email blast so you don't have to write multiples of the email?
Well, no, that's how I do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Baker's Cocky Hen says it's strategy to draft a good tight end or treat him like a kicker or defense and wait.
Or
No, listen,
work the waiver wires. And
but there has been some weird, inexplicable shift in the production of the tight end this year.
yeah, well, there's been a shift because they're using
Not just Travis Kelce.
they've been using the running backs more, and we have a couple more quarterbacks in the league that are multiple athletes, right? They're not just a quarterback. They're not a pocket passer. They're also mobile quarterbacks that can run for yardage. And I think that's the way the league is going. It's going to that kind of, you have an athlete back there that's taking the ball and able to not take so many sacks. You know, Lamar Jackson this past week.
Hamilton Porter says it is what it is. Dalton Kincaid and Brock Bowers are my two. They haven't been huge contributors, but haven't been hindrances. Well, Pitts has been from the Falcons.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts.
Gesicki, who I got to try to offset, at least wait out Pitts, just as bad. So,
yeah,
I would have thought that Gesicki would have been a good pickup.
He got
maybe
0.10 points.
Maybe it's going to
0.10, a tenth of a point.
Maybe it's going to change towards the end of the season.
Which is why you don't want to cut bait on some of these guys, because then when if they start to come back around, and I mean, you obviously can't start them right now.
The only one I believe will come back around, Keon, and you know who I'm thinking?
Yeah,
Travis Kelce, because they will start to find ways of getting him involved in that offense because he's that damn good. If you bore him, he'll leave. But if you don't use them, I guess you don't care. I don't know. Baker's Cocky Hen says tight ends are blocking more now.
That's true. That's true. That's connected to what Randy mentioned about more teams running the football. Is that you're asking your tight end to not so much be an extra receiver downfield, especially with all of these teams playing, cover two a lot more. So you're not getting those big explosive plays downfield throwing the football. So a lot of teams are trying to make up for that running the ball.
Steve Ass, I love you, but I think you as a man will respect me saying this straight to your face. Your text is the dumbest thing I've seen today.
Wow.
He says, no, here's the text. I blame Taylor Swift for wussifying Travis Kelce and the tight end position over
across the whole league.
So you're saying that
he's got to be kidding.
Taylor Swift has decimated the tight ends in the National Football League.
So let me get this straight. You think Taylor Swift wussified, in your words, Travis Kelce so badly Mark Andrews can't catch?
That's what he's saying.
Okay. All right. I was just trying. This is just so badly that Mike Gesicki can't catch anymore. Oh.
See, I don't think I just think that it's a shift in the way the game's being played.
It's interesting because when Taylor Swift started entering the orbit of the NFL and our world and the things we like to talk about, she gained some superpower as far as NFL fans are concerned, where she can now influence Dalton Schultz, whom she has never met.
She has rendered them all useless.
I mean, Jake Ferguson is nothing because Taylor Swift now likes football.
Well, you don't know. She has played Jerry's World in Dallas. The what is it? The annual concert. Whatever the
my guess is he was not in attendance.
Seabass confirms he was just kidding. I should hope so.
I really hope so. And I'll take your word for it because there's no way Taylor Swift wussified Travis Kelce so hard Trey McBride got a concussion. That doesn't make any sense.
Hamilton Porter says, here's a poll. Which one's annoying that it infiltrated the NFL this year? Taylor Swift or politics? I don't feel like either have really infiltrated anything. I don't think politics has infiltrated the NFL, and I don't think Taylor Swift. They show her on camera a couple times in a game. That's it. Who gives a crap?
And there's only one team that applies to. I watch a bunch of teams in a weekend. I don't see Taylor Swift at Jaguars games. So,
it's two teams. It's the Chiefs and whoever the Chiefs are playing.
Yeah, which is
here's the thing
for like 6 seconds.
Listen, for the rest of you football fans, can I just say, she ain't she ain't bad to look at. So why are you complaining that they're showing a pretty girl on the TV
Really?
for a couple seconds?
I don't know.
I don't. It's not my thing, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're at least it's not a Kardashian.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't see what difference that could possibly make.
I feel like my eyes would get herpes from a Kardashian.
I don't think that's how that works.
I feel like my eyes would. Even worse. What if I got? Here's a dad joke. What if I got visual aids?
Okay.
I'm
going to walk into the ocean.
Visual
I will not be
aids.
returning. You can find me at the bottom of the Pacific.
My dad jokes are dark, aren't they?
They're on that line.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
If I were a parent and I found out you said that joke, I would still have to sit there and think about how mad to be. Like
mad.
I can't be furious.
You can't be mad.
But also, why?
If a parent came at me about that, I would tear you the hell up.
You
would be sad that you even brought it up.
But a parent might.
Well, they'll be sad if they do.
Whereas the Kurt Cobain joke, I think we can all agree. Don't tell that to like a 7-year-old. That's or a 5-year-old. Like that's just
4-year-old. I don't care.
What's the Kurt Cobain joke?
Oh, that's right.
I haven't heard it.
I can't even remember.
It was about it. Well,
I say these things and they just come out of my head.
The Kurt Cobain's daughter. I think,
that's right. Tony Hawk's a kid, and Kurt Cobain's kid had a baby. And I said, when this kid grows up, if you see it on a skateboard with a shotgun, well, now you got to worry. And I said, I wonder how tall the kid will be. Because his dad was various heights. One minute he was 5'8", next minute he was 5'4". So just that's all. That's not a dad joke. That's a dark ass blow your head off with a shotgun joke.
Somebody accused that joke of being a dad joke.
I take exception with that.
And it is not. You would not tell that to a child.
Jeffrey is a dad.
Yes.
And he did tell the joke.
Not every joke made by a dad is a dad joke. Because you normally would not tell that joke in your capacity as a dad. Though Jeffrey actually might. So that's a little bit. It's a little bit different.
You want to hear something, Keon? I would move the mobile out of the way and lean over the crib to tell my children that joke.
Oh no!
with a flashlight under his chin. So
all I'm going to say,
someday I'll tell you who Kurt Cobain is.
That kid is going to go and start kindergarten one day and horrify his teacher.
Bullseye says, I approve of that dad joke. Again, it's not a dad joke.
Not a dad joke.
Because Jeffrey, as the dad of 9 girls, I'm going to tell my eldest daughter your Kurt Cobain joke. Yeah, all right. Well, that's not my kid.
Listen,
does she know who Kurt Cobain is?
You'll have to explain it. But the point is, you got enough kids. If you ruin a kid, I think you're still percentage-wise, you're doing okay.
Tell you what, my oldest daughter would love that joke. Are you kidding me?
Raven Kid says, Randy, I got to say, the Kurt Cobain joke, it'll blow your mind.
Oh, no.
Oh, see, that's 2 minutes right there. I mean,
that's just... well, don't give him 2. You're not going to give me 2.
No, I'm not giving you 2, but come on, man. That's low-hanging fruit right there.
But it was funny. I like that joke.
Hefty Lefty says, I'm not just sure you'll get visual aids from seeing a Kardashian. He says, I'm HIV positive.
Okay. All right. Oh,
just the whole show just came to an absolute stop.
We were on a roll there.
That was his dark joke to try. He's just messing with me.
It's just you see a quarterback make three completion pick, and you're like, bad run. I don't know.
No, I'm not letting it get me down. I'm not letting it get me down.
You got to have a short memory when you play quarterback.
Swave Dave says, Laporta was one of my rock stars last season. I managed to get him again this season, but with that Detroit running back tandem, he just doesn't get quite the work. Plus, he's a little banged up.
Let's go back to that. The last thing you said, you got to have a short memory when you're quarterback. I wonder if Kurt Cobain had a short memory.
Yeah.
At one point he did.
And a new hairline.
Just also happened to be the last thing he ever remembered. So.
Hamilton Porter says, all I can say is thank God fullback isn't a fantasy position.
The position doesn't exist in the league anymore, really, outside of the Niners.
Average Joe says, Kurt Cobain jokes are risky, but you should always keep one locked and loaded because they're a blast.
Oh, no.
Now, see, that was creative right there.
It's so bad, but it's also hilarious.
Sorry you got the AIDS, Hefty, if that's true. What else do you do? Can we send him a card? It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, football fans, Michael Vick here. I had an advantage. My legs were a weapon. 6,109 rushing yards, still unbeaten records. That's why I bet at BetUS.com. They offer American sports bettors an advantage. The industry's biggest bonus, a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And get expert picks and predictions on their very own BetUS TV. Take advantage. Join me online at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. BetUS, where the game begins.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter. So help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Now open in Scottsdale. It's United Forte Custom Door Showroom with 40,000 euro doors and hundreds of state-of-the-art designs and finishes on display, plus kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and more, all at wholesale prices. Builders, contractors, designers, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Forte, P-O-R-T-E. Stop by to see and feel the quality. United Forte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. Yep, 5 o'clock. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580s. We broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. All right, so it turns out Hefty Lefty is not HIV positive. I was very happy to see that. He says, I guess no one remembers the HIV positive joke from South Park. My mistake.
Yeah, I never really watched a lot of South Park, so there's like 1 or 2 jokes I know, and then everything else is just.
Yeah, man, you can't be doing those jokes because I've only seen a couple episodes here, a couple episodes there, but not enough to catalog them, you know. So
yeah,
okay, good enough. Flogging Logger says, and what's the last thing that goes through Jeffrey's grasshopper mind before he hits your windshield?
Oh no,
Tony Lavello's ass. I don't understand what that means.
I don't get what that means either.
That's gonna. I'm sorry. That's a whistle right there. That 2 minutes.
I don't even get it. But all right. Hey, Good to see you, Flogging Logger, I guess. So here we are, the NFL season, 4 weeks in, and I was taking a look at the standings, and Chiefs and Vikings, the only undefeated teams left.
Yeah.
Everybody else has had a loss, at least one.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Vikings are going to London this weekend. They're going to be playing the who are they playing?
Jets.
Jaguars.
Oh, is it Jaguars?
This weekend?
I thought it was the Jets.
Is it?
It is the Jets. The Jags are playing.
Oh, they're
your-
going
your
there too?
Colts.
Oh, they're going there the next week,
Yeah,
right?
the next week, though. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's great. Well, anyway, so a trip to. Yeah, I don't talk about the Colts anymore, Randy.
You're not very happy.
No, I don't. No, I don't want to go in.
But wait, why aren't you talking about your Colts, your beloved Colts? You got your wish.
No, I
And
didn't.
Joe Flacco came in and he
Yeah.
looked good,
I don't care. I'm done.
and you ended up winning the game.
Who gives a crap? You know what? Listen, I'm going to make this brief.
Okay.
Anthony Richardson is a bust because he keeps busting himself up. I'm
Well,
done with that.
It's a hip injury, so
And yeah, what am I going to do? We're going to the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. Shut up!
Is that,
Come on,
is that a
it's
Lincoln?
over.
Is that a Lincoln Continental behind you there? Is that the JFK special?
What year do you think it is?
63.
Try again.
Higher or lower?
I ain't telling you nothing.
All right, 62.
You just keep throwing out numbers. You get to 61, and you're right. Yeah, it's
So it was
1961.
lower than 61. I knew it was 60s. Yeah, it's the JFK special, right? That was the presidential limousine, right?
That's either some old grape jam or this was the JFK's car. Huh.
What's
sure
that,
what that
gray
is.
matter? What's that
What-
gray matter on the back?
It's all about. Just getting darker and darker, isn't it?
It is.
Hamilton Porter says, if you remember, oh crap, think you will. If you remember the South Park, and that's all he said. Oh, here it is. Episode Magic Johnson cured age by injecting himself with lots and lots of money. Nope, didn't see that one. So anyways, let's talk about last night's Monday Night Football games. Hate that so much. I hate it so much. Everybody hates it. What? Just stop it.
Is that the last one of the season though? That doubleheader?
Let's see. Next
think it
week,
is.
we've got one Monday Night Football game next week.
Hooray!
Saints at Chiefs.
Ooh, not bad.
That's going to be a good game. Yeah.
You got 49ers at Seahawks next Thursday. Not this Thursday, the next Thursday. And then after that, Buffalo Bills and Jets. Meh. Broncos and Saints. Ugh. Yeah, okay, forget it. Back here to this Thursday, Buccaneers and Falcons. That could be a pretty good game.
I think it's going to be a good game. I
Yeah.
mean, Baker Mayfield had almost 350 yards last weekend.
Baker Mayfield needs to shut his damn mouth.
Uh-oh.
According to Tom Brady.
Uh-oh.
Why?
Tom Brady tore his ass up, by the way. Did you guys hear about this?
What for?
Oh, no. And he had it coming. Trying to find it. Here it is.
All right.
He had it coming. So here's what happened. Somebody was saying, so what's going on there? I don't even know why. But Baker Mayfield said, there's this, well, he says, the Buccaneers were stressed out when Brady was playing. He says the building was a little different with Tom Brady in there. Obviously, playing wise, Tom is different. He had everybody dialed in, high strung environment. So I think everybody was pretty stressed out. They wanted me to come in, be myself, bring back the joy of football for all the guys who are not having as much fun. So, of course, Brady gets wind of this because the guy sitting next to him says, hey, here Baker Mayfield's talking crap about you. And Tom Brady goes, yeah, I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. There was a mindset of a champion that I took to work every day. This wasn't daycare. If I wanted to have fun, I was going to go to Disneyland with my kids. There's a way to approach this game, and it's with the right mindset to push each other outside of your comfort zone. Great teammates do that, and no apologies.
I don't know. I mean, I agree with him to the sense that Tom Brady's mission was different from Baker Mayfield's mission.
Well, I mean, Baker Mayfield can take his Super Bowl rings up against Tom Brady's any day.
But Jeffrey, Baker doesn't have any.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tom Brady just whooped Baker Mayfield's ass.
Yeah. And again, if it just depends on what you play the game for. Like in every job, some people become lawyers because they have a genuine sense of justice. They want to defend people, those who are overlooked or whatever. And some lawyers just want to make a lot of money. And like you could be good at it either way. Baker clearly plays the game of football to get paid, to have fun. Whereas Tom was like, no, if you paid Tom Brady nothing, Tom was trying to win a Super Bowl, and that was his mission, which is why, Tom can take less to stay with the team, because Tom's mission was rings. The other stuff will sort itself out, but you can't expect
the winner
everyone
is Tom Brady.
You can't expect everybody to show up to this thing with the same mission as you. And
7
also,
rings versus Baker Mayfield's no rings.
But Baker didn't say that out of nowhere. He was told that
he
by his
that
organization
to himself.
Maybe, but also maybe the organization shouldn't have told him that.
Well, he's already backpedaling. He's like, I think a lot of that got taken out of context.
No, because here's the thing: like that's true of a lot of great quarterbacks. It's not just Brady. They said when Peyton Manning got to Denver, everybody was on pins and needles. Like that's how great quarterbacks operate. No one was under any illusion that Baker Mayfield was Peyton Manning or Tom Brady calibers. Like, what are we holding him to that standard for?
Cheese Skulls reminded me not to forget to bring my inflatable dinghy to North Carolina. I have people there who will lift me and carry me through the water.
Yeah, that's true.
Like an emperor.
I won't get a drop of water on me.
No.
Hefty Lefty says Kurt Cobain and JFK jokes. Boy, we're on a roll today.
Hey, look, it's been a day.
Bullseye says another good dad joke there, Jeffrey, about JFK.
You really need to.
It's not a dad joke.
You really need to look up what that word means.
Now you're trying to piss me off.
You keep using that word, and it does not mean what you think it means.
No, that was not a dad joke.
Ringless Joe says, I'm starting to think Kyler Murray may just be a bust, good athlete, but either there's not enough support or something's up. I feel like Kyler Murray, most of his problems are the same location as the coach's problems, right between the ears. I feel like, but then part of me says, well, I think the coaches are just trying to play towards some strengths that maybe we don't know about. And so that's why they have all these gutless play calls. I don't know what's going on with the Cardinals. Can't even tell you.
I mean, I don't know if I would have described the play calling as gutless, but
hey, another jet sweep. Whee! Big Jake says Brady, GOAT of all goats. Nobody's arguing that.
Yeah,
man.
that's indisputable. And I would argue not because of the rings. The rings happen because he's the GOAT and not the other way around.
It's all the same.
I don't think so.
It's all the same.
It's because I don't know. Ring counting as a way to decide who's better is like
he ain't going to be the GOAT of broadcasting. That's for sure.
Well, he's not great at that.
Oh,
he's real bad.
He's sort of a lump of clay, isn't he?
I'm betting
bad.
Yeah,
they are not going to renew that contract. 10 years later.
It's massive. Yeah. Like they really should not have
10
committed.
years from now.
They really should not have committed to a decade of that. That's really not.
Better save your money, Tommy.
You had Greg Olson right there and he was doing a pretty good job. And now you're paying a guy to be bad for a decade.
Don't burn through that 300+ million, Tommy.
I don't know why Tom doesn't approach this game announcing. He's supposed to analyze what's going on, right? I mean, he's supposed to add some insight for the viewer, and but he's not really giving you anything. You know what I mean? I mean, it's real topical. It's very sterile.
It is, but I think that's the thing that people don't understand about broadcasting, and especially when you're doing a live, sports broadcast, you don't just show up and talk. The good ones make it look very, very simple, but really, you show up and the game is moving at a certain speed. And if you can't get the information you have in your head out of your mouth quickly, they're on to the next play. So you end up being a very generic, you're not giving anything very specific. You look at Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner can find a very simple way to say something that you didn't know when you were listening to the broadcast. Tom is falling behind the broadcast, so he just says generic stuff.
Speaking of falling behind in broadcast, it's been like over time, Keon. But you're now just a little dot at the bottom of your screen. Your camera, over time, has slipped back where I see more of almost the ceiling than you.
And also because I sit further back so I can keep the mic in front of my mouth. So
don't you be like that.
I'm
You
not.
can
I'm
move
not.
the camera down. Come on.
I can't because it's going to fall off the thing. I'm telling you right now. The camera hasn't moved. I have.
Oh,
I thought it was the hydraulics in the chair.
So
I can't argue
slowly
with him because
leaking
I
out.
was the one that bitched him out and said, make sure the microphone's in front of your mouth so we can hear you better.
I'm trying to like get here. And look, you said you're going to move some stuff around with the computers. We'll see how that does. And then I might be able to sit closer.
I'll
to
see
the
you in a
thing.
couple of weeks.
Yeah, not anytime soon. But I'm just going to have to be a dot right now, and that's where we're at.
I feel like maybe we could.
I'm not thrilled about it either.
So, Big Jake losing all credibility in 3, 2, 1. Haters, Brady and Romo are great on the mic.
Romo's okay. Romo's gotten.
No, stop. Romo used to be. Romo's
used to be.
annoying as a mofo now.
Romo used to be really
He's
good.
a mofo.
Yes.
Now,
Used to be great.
Now
Now
he's just
mofo.
Now he's just okay to me. He's
and,
fine.
and Brady? No, he's not.
Brady's
He's
been
not
bad.
great on the mic yet.
Brady's
not being
been bad.
haters.
And
we
by the
actually
way,
have ears that work, Big Jake.
it takes a while too. Like ask anybody who's done this, or even people who did it, tried it, and said, you know what, it's not for me. Jason Witten, tried to do his best on that ESPN broadcast. It just wasn't working. Jason Witten is an incredibly intelligent football player. A guy could talk, ball for hours, and you'd learn things you never knew. But when you're talking about a broadcast, you only have a few seconds to get that stuff out, and Brady just hasn't been good at it.
Ringless Joe, disagree. He says Tom Brady should return to the NFL and try to stop Mahomes from usurping his GOAT status. He go on a team with a really good O-line to defend him. No, Ringless Joe, no.
What team is that? Because most teams
No.
that have a quarterback bad enough that you could replace them with aging Tom Brady, who hasn't played football for 2 years. Also, they don't have good offensive lines. So what team is that?
Big George says, give Tom Brady a chance. He's only had a few weeks. It'll take some time to develop your announcer skill. Can I just say, though, bullcrap. He had a full year off. He should have been working on his skill all that time, and he did nothing. Clearly, he did nothing.
Well,
I don't know about that.
Well, whatever he did, he didn't do it right.
It wasn't enough. But
I think we needed to, in some ways, we need to show him some grace and let him grow into the position. But I think Tom needs to understand, like Keon says, instead of trying to, analyze the entire field, pick one or two things, that you can point out. Use the telestrator, point it out, just one or two. Pulling guard, maybe, or key block, or how
Right,
the
here's
guy
the ball.
ran his route. You know what I mean? How the quarterback delivered the ball on time and on target to a certain place. Don't try to analyze the whole play. And I think maybe that's what all rookies do in radio. They try to do way too much instead of trying to condense down and try to present it in a very simple, a simple summary of what they're trying to say.
Jonesy says, still sad that Greg Olson got pushed out for Brady. He was great.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah,
anyway?
he's still
he's on the
there.
B team.
He's just on the B team, so he's in that second broadcast, and he's still doing a good job. And Olsen had a little bit of a shaky start too, but like once things got going for him, it was really good. So I'm not saying Tom Brady's done. Don't give him any more time, but it's not a good start. And when you talk about a guy that's making as much money doing it as he has, he's making more money than other people who have been doing that job for longer and have proven it. He just got the check because he's Tom Brady. And that's not how you make those kinds of decisions for 10 years and that many millions of dollars.
Hoping for ratings, I guess. Big Jake says, he called us haters. He says, and Baker is underrated. He's a good quarterback, above average. I ain't complaining about Baker Mayfield right now.
I don't think we said anything bad about
I don't
Baker
think anybody
Mayfield.
said anything bad
But
about
thank you
Baker.
for stepping back from the all caps. I appreciate that. Chosen One says, who's the first head coach in the NFL fired? Eberflus in Chicago, Carolina's coach, McCarthy in Dallas. If he doesn't make the playoffs,
Eberflus has to be on a very hot seat.
Peterson, in Carolina.
Peterson's there too. If they lose another game, Peterson may not make it to the London game, and if they lose in London, Peterson may not come back.
Yeah.
Swave Dave says, did you catch the love fest between Gronk and Brady on the Fox show? No, I didn't get to watch it this week. Average Joe says, I don't understand why Kurt Warner doesn't have either a coaching job or announcer job. He's so intelligent and personable. So I have to figure it's just his decision not to. But I do see him post a lot on Twitter about how he'd like to coach. Here's the thing about Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner's got a good gig. He's one of the talking heads on the NFL Network show with Rich Eisen. And then with Rich Eisen and Kevin Harlan, he does the Monday Night Football gig on radio.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing that thing for us on 1580 The Fanatic. But as far as why is he not doing some TV stuff, I think he does occasionally.
Yeah,
and
he makes
why
some TV appearances.
Why is he not coaching? I don't know what his capacity is for that. I don't know.
And also, it just depends. Like I agree with you on that, because coaching is more than just X's and O's, which I think Kurt would be brilliant at. But if he doesn't have the energy or the desire to put up with the people part of coaching, maybe that's not something you go to.
Cheese Skull says Tom Brady has no personality. He's like Troy Aikman. Can someone bring back the Howard Cosell? Maybe get him back to life? And
Howard Cosell.
Yeah, just get somebody imitating to me. But Ringless Joe says an aging Tom Brady is like Benjamin Button. He'd be way better than Trevor Lawrence or Andy Dalton. No, man, he's got to just stop. He can't. Don't do. He's 63.
I mean,
I don't know that he's 63.
Tom Brady is 47
years
years old.
He is.
He's 47 years old, and people are forgetting the last time we saw Tom Brady. He was getting axe murdered in the playoffs in the first round.
Yeah.
Stop doing this. He's not, even if he were to come back, there are no Super Bowls left in that man. And he already had more Super Bowls than the average population, just potential wise. And he got every single one of them out of his career. So let's stop. Just stop.
Big Jake says, Kurt Warner does the radio broadcast. He's also a dad, and he's busy with his Christian charities and stuff.
Yeah.
He's living the life he wants to live.
Kurt seems happy.
Yeah.
Just every time you see him or hear him, he just seems like he's just genuinely happy with his life. Why would you then try to coach some, Gen Z kids and try to make that work and have them stress you out when you could just chill, man? And then if you ever talk to a kid, you're talking to one or two of them and giving them some advice, as opposed to trying to coach an entire team and get them to do what you want to.
We're 2 hours and 20 minutes in, and we have not even yet talked about the games last night. Let's come back and do that. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
4 weeks of the NFL are in the books after Monday night's doubleheader, and the Kansas City Chiefs remaining the betting favorite to win this year's Super Bowl. The two-time defending champions plus 475 to capture the Vince Lombardi Trophy for the third straight year. The San Francisco 49ers are plus 650. Baltimore coming off a Sunday night win against Buffalo at plus 850, while the Bills are plus 1,000. The Lions, who are coming off a win against the undefeated Seahawks, are also plus 1,000 to win the Super Bowl. Houston Texans are plus 1,200. Philadelphia plus 1,400. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, football fans, Michael Vick here. They say I transformed the quarterback position. The fastest ever, the strongest arm, the most rushing yards. They call me a game changer. I say BetUS.com changed the sports betting game. It started 30 years ago with the industry's biggest bonuses, and they haven't stopped. This football season, get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Join me at BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino, BetUS, where the game begins.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed a law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Carrie Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Carrie Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
Slow it down, get it slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And listen up, everybody. BetUS, you got to check it out. They got it all right? Cash bonuses, sign-up bonuses, crypto bonuses. Get over to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. They offer stuff the other sportsbooks just do not offer. All sorts of stuff. Like I said, crypto sign-up bonuses. They got 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Lots of different things you can take advantage of. Go to betus.com or give them a call at 1-800-MY-BETUS. That is BetUS, where the game begins. Slave Dave says, I applaud Kurt Warner as well as Larry Fitzgerald for their passion for the game. But when they were done, they knew they were done. And now they're just, living life on their own terms. Boy, I wish I could say the same.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they both made great decisions for their lives. Larry Fitzgerald is, decided to become more of an entrepreneur. And Kurt is, his character with me, and I'm sure with you too, Jeffrey, is beyond great. I mean, the guy does a lot of good for the community, and he gives a lot of his time. No.
I don't want to get all like, Kurt Warner.
No,
great
listen,
guy. And the next thing you know, scandal.
If he did anything, his wife would she would take care of business. She's a former United States Marine Corps nurse.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. She'd murder him.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just saying, I don't want to be disappointed.
The problem is he would not know he was being murdered because
that's fine because it wouldn't matter at that point.
Right. Yeah. She's a trained Marine and a nurse. She'll figure out ways that he'll never see it coming. Yeah.
Cardinal Art wants a weather forecast. We did that
last hour.
Yeah. But maybe later on, maybe a little bit.
A lot of clouds out there, huh?
Well, that's what he says. Where all this wind and dust come from? It's monsoon still. It's like a monsoon.
Yeah. The problem that I think everyone's having is that it hasn't felt like monsoon season.
Oh no, it hasn't.
We definitely did not have a monsoon season.
Miss Kim and I were talking about that earlier, and as we speak, there is a special weather statement for the Valley here: South Mountain, Ahwatukee, Arizona, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, the West Valley as well. Strong winds will impact Maricopa and Pinal counties through 5:45 today. Doppler radar was finding an outflow boundary along a line extending from near the Arizona Mills Mall to downtown Glendale near Sun City West. Well, dust storm alert, basically.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you just say that. Why you got to say all that other crap? Just say dust storms.
I was reading the special weather statement.
Oh, don't read nerds.
As the chief meteorologist, I had to read it first so I could
save all that nerdy science stuff for your science nerdy friends. Right now, you just tell us, "Hey, dust storm coming." That's all we need, man.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all I know.
Dust storm coming. Be careful.
Big Jake says Goff for MVP. I got a plus 270 ticket that says he is. No,
wow.
No.
18 for 18 last night.
Yeah,
he did not miss a completion.
But look at the games before that. The MVP is a season award. So if he continues, okay, there might be a conversation. The first 3 games of the season, Jared Goff was anywhere from kind of bad to he's all right.
Look, I'm surprised Seattle did not show up better than they did last night.
Well, first, Randy, we got to talk about the Titans and the Dolphins.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now that we have, let's move on because that game was garbage and those teams are garbage. Now, go ahead. We'll talk about it.
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that they looked as defeated as they did. I mean, Detroit came out with a game plan, executed it, and the Seahawks defense just could not get to Jared Goff to throw him off his game.
Yeah,
boiled down to too many injuries on the Seahawks defense, and they played like ass.
I'll tell you what, though, is it Kenneth Walker III? Is that his name? Boy, he is going to be something in this league, man. If he stays healthy, he is going to be something. Because did you see that when he was being tackled, that acrobatic move he made?
Yeah, I saw that.
Where he flipped out of it and he never touched the ground.
And then he got clanked and he was still okay. He was like, what's up?
Good night. I mean, I think we might.
That's a big human being that moves
we might see the next
fast.
coming of Beast Mode. I'll tell you that right now. Because that was impressive.
It does feel like it a little.
No, it was a fun game, and then it got out of hand, later on. But that here's the thing. I wasn't that impressed with Jared Goff's perfect because it was like 19 passes.
Yeah, but sometimes
that was it. There's just 19 passes.
The run game was so strong, you don't need it.
Like he was a great quarterback in that.
Well, no, because that's still a lot of passes
a few times.
Yeah, for 292 yards. They weren't all bubble screens.
No.
That's still impressive.
He was throwing downfield.
He took some shots. He threw the ball into some tight windows, and he made some really, really good throws. That's still impressive.
Gamecock says, I feel ignored. Did you read my text? I thought it was a leftover from the fantasy football stuff. He says 12-man PPR. Is it time to drop Zamir White?
It might be. He was so good down the stretch last season, but he hasn't done anything this year. I don't know who he is. He's the Raiders, one of the Raiders running backs. And the Raiders leaned on him, and Antonio Pierce in particular leaned on him to close out the year last year, and he was insanely reliable. Like, if that was a nice little waiver wire find if you got him. And so there were people who drafted him this year, and nope, not much.
By the way, seriously, Keon, Randy, after the show, go on the text line and look at Lost Toby's pictures.
Okay.
They're amazing. And he says, also, one of the midgets called me an illegal Mexican. And he says, and I'm just wondering, how did he know? So I don't think they're going to get too bent out of shape about being called midgets, I guess. Anyway, back to last night's game. It was a funner game than you would have thought it would be. Yep. And yes, Jared Goff had the most passes in yards without an incompletion in NFL history. Okay, that's nice. Before it was Kurt Warner, he went 10 for 10 in a game before he left with an injury. So I don't think that needs the count. But the team itself, because he wasn't the only person throwing, as you know, Amon-Ra St. Brown threw him a touchdown. So that would be 19 passes that were complete. That actually was. It went right where he didn't even have to try.
Right in the breadbasket. He put a little air under it so Jared Goff could shuffle his way under. Because I mean, Jared was moving as fast as he could, but man, that guy was
shockingly good pass.
Yeah.
So did they call because the Philly shuffle was the one that Nick Foles
it was
caught.
It was a Philly special.
So did they call this the Detroit shuffle?
No, I don't think so.
How about the "We can't drink the water here" special? I mean,
come on, they should have called. They should have called it the Detroit, the Detroit shuffle or something.
But it's a Philly special. It's just that's what it is.
Well, the thing is that plays existed before Philadelphia, and the way the blocking works is also a little bit different, and the other routes matter too. Like every time a quarterback goes out for a pass, it's not the Philly special.
One of the bitches of the whole thing was that Jared Goff would have had a perfect passer rating, except for he caught the pass from Amon-Ra St. Brown. So as a team, they had a 158.3. But so that kind of that play there screwed him out of some stuff. And he also got screwed out of a game ball. Dan Campbell later was just like, he didn't realize that, the magnitude of what had happened with, the passing. And he's just like, oh, geez, I just gave the game ball to somebody else. He's like, oh, I feel awful. I should have given it to him. And
there's more than one game ball. Come on, man.
He gave it to Jamison Williams and safety Kirby Joseph.
Those are good choices for that game.
Yeah, but still, Goff was just like, I'm not upset. He'll make it up to me.
Yeah, Jared Goff doesn't care. Jared Goff, to be fair to Jared Goff, is a very cool guy. Nothing really seems to get to him. He doesn't take a whole lot personally.
CK says Jeffrey Goff's performance was hella impressive. Hey, the 90s called. They want that phrase back. He says if Richardson goes 19 for 19, close to 200 yards, you'd have taken 2 days off. Yeah, listen, I'm done. I'm not even going to talk to you about Richardson.
Yeah.
There's no way he's doing anything perfect.
I hope after your trip you come back with the better better attitude about your blue horseshoes.
Listen, I'm a fan. That's my team. I'm not happy with them right now. I've declared Anthony Richardson a bust, and now I just have to wait and live in, sort of agony for a few years till something else happens.
You got to grieve a little bit. Got to go through the whole grieving process.
Maybe this gets me another Manning under center. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
Okay. So Gamecock says we can send pictures. Wow, this opens up new possibilities.
Oh no.
He says I'm going to send the Gamecock. No, you're not.
No,
you're really not.
Don't do that.
Don't. Yeah.
No need. No need.
I have blocked so many people.
This is a radio show.
Mm.
So unless you're taking pictures and sending pictures.
I asked for those pictures.
Yeah. And also unless you're sending pictures of things that you got through the radio station, to be quite frank, it's going to just slow down the text line.
So there's another thing that was sort of amazing. I don't know if you noticed. The Seahawks had 38 first downs. That is the most in NFL history to get in a loss. The fact that they made 38 first downs, they should have won the game based on that information. What happened to them anyway?
Well,
I mean, with the offense.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how many first downs you have. You throw an interception, and I think there was a fumble as well. That was a scoop and score. So you'll lose the game on stuff like that. In terms of drives started purely from offense, maybe the Seahawks win that game based on that information. But of course, you turn the football over. The other team does not do that. You're not going to win that game.
What was the score again?
42-29.
So I guess the 2-point conversion didn't make the difference, but they got that call wrong. Watch him, and DK Metcalf went for the 2-point conversion, and his leg came down. It was a touchdown. It was a 2-point, touchdown, and they just got it wrong. They got the call wrong. They said nope, and out of bounds, and so I don't understand why they didn't review it, but they got screwed out of those 2 points at least.
That's unfortunate because it did change how they called the game. They were trying to get this thing within one score.
Yeah.
And obviously now they're not in that position anymore. So they
might have changed the way they played.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. They should have had the score 22-28 at that moment, but then because it didn't happen, they were 20-28. So.
Yeah, but still the defense to me for the Seahawks, and I picked the Seahawks to win. The difference to me was their defense just did not look like they had a grasp on what Detroit was doing.
And to be fair to them, like the defensive line was just all injured. I mean, the middle of that defensive line, there wasn't anybody healthy. And what a lot of what Mike McDonald wants to do as the head coach of that team is to be able to have a lot of guys in coverage without having to bring extra pressure. But if you have defensive linemen that can't win one-on-one, then your edge rushers aren't as effective. Your secondary is not as effective. And now everybody's having to work a little bit harder and getting a little less out of it. So I think that really did play an impact there.
What I liked was after the safety, everybody looking at each other like, what are we doing now with the kick? I don't know what to do with this free kick. This is...
How do we line up?
What? Yeah. What the hell is this all? Because that was the first time that happened.
What do I do with my hands?
because of this in 2025 touchbacks on kickoffs, they're thinking now it's going to be the 35. Now we're going to make it the 35 so that they will stop trying to kick it through the end zone and try to get the ball in play, at the 5-yard line. So, okay, how far are you going to push this? So kickoff touchback. That's on the 50 now.
They're going to push it until there is no advantage to kicking it out of the back of the end zone, so that people actually get to return kicks.
But I thought they were trying to stop all the violence of a kickoff.
They weren't.
Return.
That's why they changed the rules. They still want the kickoffs.
Keith Skull thinks that you picked Seattle because Ralph paid you to.
No, Ralph don't pay me jack.
I got some injury report information for you. So far, no word officially yet on Rashee Rice, unless you've seen something come down.
I haven't seen anything official.
I just double-checked. I haven't seen it. So still waiting on him to go complete IR so I can move him out of the way in my lineup.
No word yet on Rashee Rice, but I saw that injury, and I know what it is.
Aaron Rodgers, turns out, when they said he was a little hobbled, it's his knee. It's a little bit swollen, so wasn't his ultra brittle Achilles or clavicles. So, he got banged up, and I guess he'll be all right.
Yeah,
Chris McCaffrey, it turns out, Randy, Achilles, remember? Yeah, tendonitis. Yeah, both legs. It's in both legs.
Oh, it's in both?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Indeed.
Boy, his brother had a good game against the Cardinals this past weekend.
Yeah, he did.
Say that.
Will he ever play again? You think Trish McCaffrey might be done?
I don't think he's done.
I mean, but I don't know how
this season might be a lost season.
Here's what they're saying. Well, here's how it works. You get it. This is according to Shanahan, because he's an expert. He says, I think it starts in one, and you go to overcompensate, then it goes the other, but mainly one of them's been bothering him, but he has it in both. Fantastic.
Wow.
Anthony Richardson, they're saying he is day to day with oblique injuries. Shane Steichen says not a huge injury for him. Let's see how the week goes. Don't care. Shut up.
So Shane Steichen, someone needs to approach him about that designed run that Anthony Richardson got hurt on. Like, if your goal is to protect your quarterback and you already want him running less, should you just have a play where that's all he does? Because
you have failed. Steichen, go home. Done with him too.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
So Antonio Pierce, I don't know what happened. Antonio Pierce, he always seems kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
And he talks he's a man. He's like, hey, what's up? And then all of a sudden he turned into somebody from Depression era, movies. He says, I'm going to tell you right now, I see moxie, I see confidence, and Gardner Minshew.
Moxie.
Pretty much what I got to see. I think there's some plays. I know what I would take back, but it's him, the moxie there. The confidence. Yeah, it's more about the sideline, and building, and keeping guys calm. He does have a good presence about himself. Yeah. At least I didn't hear it, but that's what I read when I saw that.
I think that's what he sounded like. Because how is that in your vocabulary if you're not like 80?
Got a lot of moxie. The kid's got a lot of moxie. I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, we're kind of where we are right now. 2-2. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know, right? I don't know where people are had us, but I'll tell you what, for us, I think we know where the opportunities are. We were
Too bad that the wide receiver, what's his name?
Davante Adams.
Yeah, he's asked for a trade.
Yep. We're building.
He's not happy. They don't seem to be happy with him. And there are a lot of people who think that those comments that Antonio Pierce made about players not trying as hard as they could, not completely not directed at Davante Adams.
But in his general direction.
In his general direction. And when they asked Adams about the quote in general, Davante Adams answered the question as though it was directed at him personally. So there might be a reason why the Raiders just said, okay, we'd love to trade you actually.
When we come back, we'll have on this date in big Georgia sports history. By the way, did you guys get the teacher lady quote of the day?
I didn't. No.
I didn't either. No.
Did you guys do it yesterday?
Did not happen yesterday because I ran out of time. I just did. The show went faster than I thought.
All right. Well, I will. Did she send it to me?
Yeah, I'm looking at my emails again.
I got it.
Yeah, nothing.
I'll read the one you didn't do yesterday. So I've got it. I'm ready.
Okay.
So there we go.
All
When we
right.
come back, Teacher Lady Sports Quote of the Day. And on this date in Big George's sports history. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
After 3 years of legalized sports betting, something completely new is now live in Arizona. Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book here, and I'd like to introduce you to Sport Trade. Sport Trade is the first sports betting app that gives you the option to see the odds expressed as probabilities, and it's going to change in-game betting forever. If it's easier to understand 52% probability of winning versus minus 108 odds, Sport Trade is your new home. With this percent odds feature, cashing out now makes much more sense. As the win probability changes, so does the value of your bet. Even if you're an experienced bettor and you prefer American odds, you'll love seeing odds closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110 offered just about everywhere else, coupled with near instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. Download Sport Trade on your iPhone today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My pain is considerable, but that prescription is dangerous.
The side effects of my medicine are worse than my condition.
I'm in recovery. I can't take those pills.
When faced with a health crisis, you shouldn't have to choose between risks.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves immediate physical symptoms without having you take a bunch of pills. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com. Now open in Scottsdale. It's United Forte Custom Door Showroom with 40,000 Euro doors and hundreds of state-of-the-art designs and finishes on display, plus kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and more, all at wholesale prices. Builders, contractors, designers, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Forte, P-O-R-T-E. Stop by to see and feel the quality. United Forte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's UPORTE.com.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. That's right, I forgot. Yeah, I got a conspiracy theory here.
You have a conspiracy theory?
Mm-hmm. I think I know why Teacher Lady didn't send over the Teacher Lady quote of the day. Because as I was reading a Teacher Lady quote of the day email and telling Teacher Lady, hey, I'm going to be out of town for a little bit. Why don't you send these on over to Keon? And then I copied Keon on that. And the response said, thank you, Jeffrey. I'll be sure to send these to Keon as well. Safe travels, Jess. But then I looked up and the top of the email said, George. His last name, George and his last name at the top, even though it says this lady's name, Big George's name showed up in the top part of the email. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why does your email say Big George's name? And I never got a response. I just sent the screen capture of that to Big George and said, by the way, are you Teacher Lady? And he has not responded yet. He says, yes, I am. The jig is up. I texted in from my work phone. Sorry. But that's a real person. You're imitating an actual person who exists. So what the hell, George? Why would you do that? You could have told me, hey, I got a new idea for a bit. How about sports quote of the day? You know, he actually stole the identity of an actual person. There is actually a teacher that actually is a teacher at the school he mentioned. Is that a friend of yours?
Big George, that's weird.
I'm going to need to take a couple weeks off just to
process it. Leave it here with us to have to handle without processing. Because Big George, what the hell?
Big George, I'm disappointed.
Chief Skull says, what pronouns is Big George really using now? No, it's not pronouns. It's identity theft.
You know, Big George's pronouns is everybody. Man, what? I'm going to do.
Big George is everybody.
Cold busted.
Be like my dad here and just. Big George. What the hell are you doing?
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
We got to the point where my dad didn't even say that part anymore. It was implied. The disappointment was on his face.
So Big George assumed the identity of a friend. So every text was you pretending to be working in your classroom?
That's
with
so
the radio
weird.
on?
Big George, that's weird. That's very strange. What is that, man? Why did you feel the need to do any of that? This is the most useless case of fraud I've ever experienced.
I mean, I think you might have to suspend on this day in Big George's sports history for a bit as a discipline so that he'll think about this the next time.
Because what the hell, man? That's you didn't make up a person, which would have worked just fine. You use an actual person.
Boy, I'm disappointed. Wow.
I'm just baffled. I'm not even
And
upset.
what for? What do you gain out of this?
I think we've also found all the Canadians. I think we've also found
We've weeded out the Canadians. Yeah.
every fake texter we've ever had. I think is George is playing Phil Hendry over here.
Yeah.
Phil Hendry was an old radio guy. I don't know whatever happened to him. And Phil Hendry, he would do the show, and you know how I read the texts? I kind of do a flow of reading these texts. Well, he would do, he'd hit a button, and it sounded like a phone call. And he would do voices of the callers. He never took a real phone call. The entire thing was just him acting the whole thing out and imagining what somebody would say. I really can't stand you, Phil. Well, I don't care what you think, but you don't understand. And he'd go back and forth seamlessly.
That's pretty brilliant. It's very dumb, but it's also very brilliant.
He was amazing.
I thought Phil went to Washington to work on Sirius XM.
I don't know. I haven't looked him up. I think it might be retired or dead.
Are we talking about Filthy Phil?
No, that's Speedo Phil.
Phil
Hendry. I'm Googling him now. And
why would you do that to him? Just leave the man alone.
Oh, he's still alive.
Which is surprising after this past weekend. I mean,
how many
people dropped dead this weekend?
I think that was hour 1 or 2. We just a whole segment.
Everybody died.
There was so many people.
Phil is 72, so the clock is ticking on him.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I haven't heard him in years.
The sand is running out of his hourglass.
So the network canceled his show in 2013. I have no idea where he's been now. Maybe he's retired. But yeah, he used to do that. Just pretend to be the caller. So he'd do the whole stream of consciousness.
That's smart. And also that takes a lot of talent.
Big George does deny being Canadian texters or foreigners. He says that's got to be somebody else.
Well, yeah, none of the Canadian texters could have.
I think Big George was Haruto. Pineapple Express.
Maybe. Hurry Harry says he's driving through a dust storm right now. He's like, can I get a weather report now, please? You're in a dust storm.
While you're in
the
dust storm,
the last time you texted in, did I not give you the update and tell you about the severe weather warning that was in our valley?
But also,
I think that was him that asked for it.
I agree with Jeffrey. If you're in the dust storm, that's all the information you kind of need. You don't need a forecast. You need to stop driving your car.
You're experiencing weather on a very deeper level than we can tell you about it.
Yeah.
He says that is true.
You should be the correspondent telling us, what's the dust storm like? You're there.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, wow, Phil was amazing. Took me a long time to figure that out. That those were fake phone calls. Cardinal Art says, damn, Big George, that is some next level Mrs. Doubtfire type identity theft.
But again, for no reason.
Pour Cardinal Art a drink.
Mrs. Doubtfire was not an actual person. That was a make-believe person. And also, he did it so he could see his kids.
Yeah.
Whereas Big George apparently
I just want another bit.
Which greedy
CK says,
also.
typical lawyer. Chief Skull says, is Big George really a lawyer?
Yeah. No, he is.
I mean, that's
Pretty sure.
That's the Weasley thing a lawyer would pull, but here we are.
Gamecock says, well, I know some good sports history. I'm not revoking his bit status. I just
yeah, it's just confusing. Like, what did you hope to gain out of this, and was it worth it? And most people impersonate others for money or revenge. Big George is just impersonating somebody just to have
because he wanted to. Yeah, he just wanted to have another bit.
It was a good quote, though.
It was a good quote. That's the thing, is like, it just genuinely is a good bit. Like, that's
and he would have gotten away with it had he had used some sort of a burner email account.
Well, it was funny because it was Jessica Cox on the original email. And then, I said her name. Sorry. And then further down, when he uses his phone, it identifies him as George. Come on, that is funny as hell, though. Really unnecessary, but funny as hell. Big George says, it was not my idea to start that teacher lady quote of the day. I just went along with it. Whose idea was it?
Was it actually her idea?
And now it gets deeper.
This is Big George. What the hell, man?
Easy, moist one.
Yeah, I was scratching my head. That's why I was quiet there. I was like literally scratching my head. Well, while we sort out reality and whatever the hell this is, let's do this. It's time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1975, Muhammad Ali retained the World Heavyweight Championship when Joe Frazier was unable to answer the bell for the 15th round of their unforgettably fierce and punishing bout that became known as the Thrilla in Manila. Ali later said of the bout, closest to dying I ever knew of. The fight was universally regarded as one of the best and most brutal fights in boxing history.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that fight.
Ali won at least the rivalry 2-1, and the viewership of that was crazy. There's like 1 billion viewers, 100 million viewers watching on closed circuit theater television, 500,000 pay-per-view buys on the new cable network called HBO, but 1 billion people watching. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I think it's insane they used to box for 15 rounds. That, like, every time I hear about some of the old fights, and they're like, yeah, no, knock him out in the 14th round. What do you mean? What?
Oh, those were great, man.
14?
That is back when men were men.
My God. Also, man, that Ali's trash talk was
his trash talk was
vicious, and for that fight, that's the meanest it was. Like, he could be clever, but those were mean.
And he was in, impeccable shape. Impeccable.
Chief Skull says, this is all going to end up on an investigative podcast where they tell the story as if Big George was the most evil person to pull this off. CK says, I think George just wanted texters hitting on him. He was probably Monkey Puncher, too. Pete Rose was truly Charlie Hustle, says Swozman. He tried hard on every play.
Yes, he did.
Just random thoughts just flowing through the radio right now.
Also, nobody actually hit on Monkey Puncher, so that didn't even work as that, if that was the point or reason.
Hey, that's right. If
Monkey
George
Puncher hit on everybody, but nobody actually was like, yeah, no, that's great.
No
if
idea.
George was unafraid to be a lady teacher, he had to be Monkey Puncher.
I can't assume anything. George, should I still send in the teacher lady sports quote of the day? No, I think you need to take a break on that.
Yeah, you've killed the mood. Here it is that we think, oh, here's this nice, charming teacher that sends us a quote every day. And she gets to tell her kids, look, here's a quote. Maybe she used it in her classroom. And now it's just you pretending to be her. That's way less interesting and cool.
Whose idea, if not yours, was it? Because there had to be a quote. If you put a quote through, then the idea was born from that. Still, I don't know. I'm going to leave now for 2 weeks. Maybe we'll talk about this when I come back.
We won't remember.
The rest of you, Daily Blender will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. here on 1580. The